So here's a couple things that we want to talk about today.
All right, welcome Some Things Podcast listeners, and way to start off episode 13 on that's usually my lucky number, but maybe not so much on this podcast. We are going to be talking about our new special guest this week, more actors throughout the MCU and other parts of the Hollywood universe, I guess, and also MLB playoffs has now been set. So with me today we have
Luke
and
John.
And folks, our lovely guest today, as you heard at the beginning of the podcast, is...
Me!
Okay, me.
Hi, me. How are you doing?
Tell us who you are, me.
My name is Cheyenne.
Yay! For those of you that don't know, Cheyenne is my unofficially adopted daughter, and Luke, my unofficially in-lawed sister, is actually related to Cheyenne through another marriage, through his brother.
I thought you were my mom.
All of that went over my head.
This family tree is so crooked. I mean, I don't know how many weeds are in this thing, but it's just, I don't even know. It's like a full circle.
Well, you know how most trees start with the roots in the ground? Mm-hmm. Like ours, the branches go all the way back down into the ground.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you guys from Alabama?
I think it's just a tumbleweed at
Our
this
blood
point.
is red. Thank you very much. Not blue.
Gosh. All right. Well, yeah, that's that. So yes, we have Cheyenne joining us today for the podcast, and so welcome, Cheyenne. We'd like to say thank you for coming on for this episode. It should be very good. Yay!
It's my pleasure.
Yes. All right, so let's kick things off, and we'll start with Cheyenne. How was your week?
Really busy, to be honest.
Okay.
How so?
Well, the job I work at has a lot of people coming in it constantly.
Oh, so we'll find out what your job is, right?
No.
Oh, nice.
She's like, no, that's secretive.
I work in a fast food restaurant, we'll say that.
Ah.
How fast is that?
Cover
food?
up for the
It's
CIA.
pretty fast.
Wow.
Too fast. I had an anxiety attack. It's fine.
Too Furious?
What?
Nobody got that reference. Too fast.
Oh,
Too
no, I
Furious.
got it.
I
It just
got
wasn't
nobody
funny.
wanted to laugh. That's why.
We left room for the audience to laugh.
We're going to have to get that pre-recording of studio audience laughing.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that on the soundboard? All right, sorry, I digress.
Oh, but other than that, it's been good. Just on Friday, I felt like I needed to throw up all day. So
Nice.
yeah, it was great.
Did you give anyone secret sauce in their fries or something?
No, I called off.
It's
Dang.
not In-N-Out, by the way. She does not work for In-N-Out.
I do not work for
It's
In-N-Out,
out and in.
no.
Outen's like the ghetto one.
Isn't that like talking about belly buddies? Belly buddies? Belly buttons?
Innie and outies.
Yeah, innies and outies.
I have an innie. What do you have, Luke?
I have an innie.
Innie.
Innie?
I have an innie.
Yeah! Nobody's
My-
weird on this podcast.
My husband has an innie/outie. It's weird.
An outie.
Have you guys? Did
That's
you guys
Luke's
ever see
brother.
that video of the kid who got his Audi belly button stuck in one of those parking signs, in a parking lot?
Oh, in the holes that were
Yeah,
in it?
in one of the little holes.
How do
That's
you do
horrendous.
I don't know. That's the epitome of a situation that you got yourself into and you can't get out of.
Was he a kid or an adult?
that? I'm assuming
How
it.
big is the hole for a
kid-ish.
belly
I'm
button?
assuming
Okay,
middle
so
school.
I'll just leave it up to kids are stupid. If it were an adult, I'd think he's high or something.
That's just creepy and all.
You could probably say both.
Yeah, he might be stupid too. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Gross.
I knew a stupid kid once.
Was it you?
Hey.
Oh, burn.
Oh.
Leaving more room for the audience.
Yes.
All right. So, what, any other highlights aside from you not vomiting on someone's piece of food or anything?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay.
Sounds like a great week.
Yeah.
It does.
I call that a win when you're not throwing up on someone else's food.
Yeah.
But that's just me. All right, John. How about yourself?
Guys.
And lady.
It's let me tell
And
you
lady.
something.
No, guys covers every gender. All two of them, by the way.
Okay.
That's why we have John here.
This is
Guys, we found a wedding venue.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, for
And-
you listeners, I'm getting married.
Mhm.
You guys
Yes,
probably know that if you listen to the prior episodes, but if not, hey, now you're in the
Unlike
club.
Savannah, but anyway.
Yeah, my fiance doesn't listen to the podcast.
What?
Yeah. I tell her, I'm like, hey, why don't you listen to it? And she's like, podcasts aren't my thing. It's like, how you going to not support your man?
I support her, man.
It's all right. Your children will listen to it. And they'll be like, Luke's
sure
my
they will.
favorite.
Not to mention the panda bears he adopts.
So this venue, super sick.
Okay.
Okay, like not like there's health problems. Like it's pretty awesome.
The needles everywhere.
So it's this park out in Ramona, and
Okay.
there's a pond in the park. So one of our activities is going to be fishing during the reception. It's going to be so fun.
That's my kind of wedding.
That's my
Like,
kind of way.
you don't have to worry about the traditions. You just get to go there and sit down next to a body of water.
Yeah, like we've got a huge dance floor. We're gonna have like yard games out there, like cornhole and stuff too.
Nice.
And fishing. Oh my gosh.
Can we go spearfishing?
No.
I don't think so. No.
Dang it.
It's all catch and release though.
Oh, okay.
But it's cool because like we're gonna make it a contest. If you catch the biggest fish, like by weight, not necessarily size, like
Right, yeah.
you'll win a prize.
So can I go to the grocery store and buy a fish and then say I got it?
No.
Can I come?
I would think so.
No, just you're only there for the ceremony to stand up there with me. After that, I want you to leave.
Oh,
Specifically you.
Just you.
dang. I'll be the fish that somebody catches.
Perfect.
Oh, I
But
can
what-
paint you. I can
I'd catch
get you
you.
a
You'd
fish
be
costume.
my best catch.
Okay,
You
so
want to paint me a fish costume? How do you
No.
paint
He'd be-
somebody a fish costume?
I meant I'll get you a. I was gonna say I'll paint you like a fish, but that's weird.
Yeah, but what came out was I'll paint you a fish costume.
I'll paint you a fish costume.
I don't even know like what that means.
Getting back to John's comment about you being the best catch, I mean, like, not his wife that
everyone
day.
just
It would be
skipped
you,
over that.
Luke. It would be you, not his
Well,
wife.
she was already caught. Like I'm the only one
It's
left.
true. He's the new catch.
He's the one that you find in the
He's
bear
gonna
trap.
be my side hoe.
The face Luke's giving right now is pretty gold. Oh man. Okay, but wait. So with the fishing thing, I thought about this. How do you prevent anyone from like cheating? What if they catch the same fish? Like, what,
I
like,
mean,
if
then
it's a
it
catch,
would weigh the same, so you'd both lose because it'd be a tie.
so then nobody wins. I mean, if
No,
two people catch
if-
the heaviest fish,
Here's what I decided: if no one wins, I get to keep the prize. It's my wedding. I'll do whatever I want.
what a hoe!
I'm with you, John.
See,
I'm with you.
my side hoe understands me.
He's gonna kick you out of the wedding, and you want to support that?
It's a good idea for a wedding,
kick you out of the
whether or
wedding?
not I'm there.
Yeah. Besides that, though, this week's been pretty long, to be honest. You know, like I said last time, still doing all that overtime. I don't know
Right.
about you, Dylan.
Oh,
You're
yep, no,
still on
there.
that same
Yeah,
train.
yeah, I don't want to sound like a dead horse, but yeah, I think we're pretty much all just still getting worn out for
Yeah.
that. Gosh.
So basically, these next couple weeks, you'll all be hearing a very cool thing that happened to me this week, and then the rest is just overtime nonsense.
yeah, overtime boredom.
Yeah, but my week's been pretty good.
All right, awesome. Puke. Transitioning to you.
Puke.
I took like 12 midterms
Ugh.
and
Puke for sure.
had
Yeah.
like an essay due, and so
You should have talked to Cheyenne about throwing up on your paperwork.
No.
ooh,
No.
that would have been great.
Could have got you out of it.
If I would have been sick this week, it would have been so much easier. Like, you ever have those weeks where it's so busy that you're like, I would rather just be throwing up in bed right now?
Oh,
That,
God.
that was this week.
That's me every day of my life.
Oh my gosh. Depression, is that you?
I think we need to have like a serious talk
I know.
about your emotional health after this.
Like, I've had some rough days, but man.
So
That's our guest, everybody.
yeah, I guess my week wasn't too bad then.
Comparatively, yeah. I wouldn't think so.
Cheyenne sounds like she's not doing so hot.
Nope.
Down in the dumps.
You
Man.
gotta love some dark humor.
Yeah. I do. I do appreciate some dark humor every now and again. Yeah.
As long as I have a nightlight.
some
Get a
semblance of
flashlight.
hope.
Why would you need a nightlight if you're going to be sleeping?
No,
The dark humor.
The humor's dark. You ruined the joke, man. Whenever you have to explain a joke, it's not funny anymore, and you ruined it.
It's like
You're
he did it on
welcome,
purpose.
everyone.
Why do we let him on the podcast?
See, this is why I'm kicking him out after the ceremony.
It's
You said
because
you're
I
kicking out
press
Dylan.
all the buttons.
Oh.
He
Dylan,
does
yeah.
press the buttons.
I press all the buttons, so
Yeah, you're,
ha!
yeah.
He presses the buttons and he looks professional. So it just we kind of gave him the
What, with his
job,
pink button-up he's wearing?
looking like a salmon.
Salmon,
It's like
not
cotton
pink.
candy.
Salmon are really handsome fish.
Sure
Have
they
you
are.
seen one?
Yes.
They taste
Have you
really
not
good,
seen
too.
a salmon?
I have seen a salmon.
Have you seen a holy mackerel?
Okay.
So that was that. So was that the gist of your week?
That was the gist of my week. It's just been kind of nonstop, full speed ahead until now. Yeah.
All right then. Dylan, how was your week, my man?
Well, again, I'll skip over the overtime. You guys have pretty much already expected to hear that from me by now. But other than that, me and Sarah, we actually got to go to one of her coworkers' daughter's birthday party. She was turning 3. Kara, shout out to you. Woo! And Marissa and Brian, you guys threw an awesome party. So thank you for inviting us.
Good
yeah,
job.
it was really awesome. Oh, I didn't bring. Dang it! I meant to show you guys. Maybe I'll take a picture and upload it to Facebook later. But they had these really cool people there. This older couple that were doing like balloon animals. But this lady made like really legit animals. Like she was doing the Ninja Turtles. She was making like cool, unique swords and all kinds. Dude, she made me this dinosaur, and we named him Gorp because he's like half dinosaur, but then like his lower half looked like, I didn't realize how silver metallic-y his legs were gonna look with the balloons. But yeah, they pretty much look like robot legs, so we called him Gorp. He looks awesome.
Does the name make logical sense to anyone else?
No.
Logical, no,
He's
but
still lost. Like he's excited.
Like you were like,
He's
this is why we
it's
called him Gorb.
But like,
yeah,
none of that adds up. Like, why? I still don't know why you called him Gorb.
exactly. You went from point A to point Z. You just have to skip right over everything else.
Point nonsense is what I heard.
I mean, I like the name.
You guys are hurting Gorp's
It's not
feelings.
bad.
It's the way you delivered it. You're like,
And that's
so
why
we
his
named
name's-
him Gorb, and it's because
His bottom
he's
half
got
is
silver legs.
Yes.
If anybody can figure this out, let us know.
Like, please explain.
You'll
to
be
us.
the next guest.
Is Gorb like
Write down in the
a
comments.
character from a sci-fi show or something? Like, is there something we're missing here?
Gorb is Gorb.
I want
there
a
you have it.
3-length paragraph in the comments about how you
Three-length?
think.
Three
A
length.
3-length paragraph?
Three.
What the heck is a 3-length paragraph?
What the heck is a Gorb?
It's
get
a
no-
dinosaur with silver legs.
That's right.
Look, I think like think of it like Cyborg, but I was gonna name him like Greg or something really ridiculous, so I could just kind of combine the two.
So Cygorb.
Yeah, but just Gorb for short.
But cyborg ends with a G.
But I was gonna name him Greg, which ends with a G. That's what I'm saying. That's
Also
why
starts with a G.
Both of them end with a G, and this name doesn't end with a G.
Gorb.
Okay,
all
time
right,
out.
is what his name is.
I accept this as justification for you naming him Gorb. However, it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But at least you explained something to us.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
That's why he's not kicking me out of the wedding, Luke.
Not
Take
yet.
notes.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, when I take my pants off, I mean that's another story. But
That's for the wedding night, dude.
yeah, well, I can't. Look, I got so many schedules on that docket that night, man. I got you guys. I got another wedding I got to go to. I got.
On that same day? Do you even know what day we're doing that?
Yeah, he told me.
I did? Yeah, I probably did.
June
No, he didn't actually.
28th.
Close.
Really?
You're off by...
5 days. You're off by.
I don't know. It's the 6th.
Oh,
You're off by 20. You're off by 22 days. 22 days.
He's like, you're close. It's actually the 6th.
You're off by 22 days.
that's not bad though. Like
Yeah, between that and a whole
there's
year,
365 days in a year.
I'd count that as close. You know what? You're back invited to the reception.
I appreciate that. Dylan, you're out.
Yeah, Dylan's out.
Okay, that's fine.
Cheyenne can come too.
We didn't have to buy a gift.
No, you still have to.
Eh.
No, you're gonna be at the wedding.
I'm sending you an
You guys are
invitation.
kicking me out of the wedding. I'm not going to be at
I'm
the wedding.
sending you an invitation that says RSVP with 2 boxes that say no.
RSVP.
RSVP.
RSVPing, man. Oh gosh. But speaking of birthday parties, when I was over there, I was thinking back to some of my fond memories at birthday parties. And okay, so I don't know if you guys have any other fun stories to tell regarding that, but I was thinking of one in particular after the kids had cracked open the piñata and like there was just candy flying everywhere. There was one time where I think I was at my cousin's birthday party, and this is in San Pedro, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it was on my dad's side. But again, I don't remember who specifically. We get to that point of the night where again there's a piñata, we're about to crack it open and everything, and sure enough, this is a huge piñata, so candy just starts dropping like crazy. And I didn't get one of those like little candy gift bags that you usually get when parents start handing those out before the box is destroyed. And so I didn't have anything to collect them with. So what I did is I just started like scooping like globs of candy like to myself, and I was just kind of like hunched over it like a turtle. Sorry, I hit my mic. But yeah, I was just like scooping all this candy to myself, and then like out of nowhere, it was either I think it was my uncle. Someone came over to me like just picked me up and took me off the candy that I had collected. And then they had like all the other kids went and just saw more candy and collected all of the stuff I had just taken because I didn't have a bag. I don't remember how old I was, like, because granted, I wasn't necessarily on the youngest end of the spectrum, but I wasn't necessarily like, I wasn't a teenager or anything. I was still kind of in like a middle ground area, maybe like early junior high, if that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's just like, I got like super embarrassed and like just started crying and walked away from the party because I'm like, no, I don't want to hang out with these freaking people anymore. But
Messed up.
I did have a cousin who was nice enough to give me a plate of the candy he collected, so I was like, awesome, thank you, bro.
A plate of candy?
It's because again, he was one of the older kids, like again, probably older than 18 at the time, and so he had when all the candy dropped or whatever, since he wasn't necessarily like trying to rush to get everything, he just got like a handful like here and there and just what was left over, and so he's like, hey man, here's to help you out. But yeah, so that was one fun experience, quote unquote, of a birthday party I had. The other one was actually my niece Sophia's birthday. We went over to her dad's house. And
Shout out to Sophia.
Shout out to Sophia.
She's cool. But yeah, so we went over to her dad's house for her birthday. I forget how old she was turning, but we're in the backyard, partying and everything. And then just like this huge gust of wind comes rushing through the backyard, takes up one of the patio umbrellas, and no joke, flings it into the window, and it shatters glass, like it just rains down on people from below. I was like, what the heck, man? Like it was a scene out of like a horror movie or like a natural disaster thing. I was like, man. But yeah, so those are my two of the quote unquote fond memories that stick out for birthday parties. What about you guys? You got any fun instances?
I never did birthdays growing up.
That's
Lies.
sad.
You're lying to me right now, Luke.
I believe it.
You lying sack of salmon.
Sack of fish.
Cheyenne believes me.
I believe
But we
it.
know 2-1.
What do you have, John?
Okay.
You really don't have anything?
Huh?
You don't have any
No, I
fun?
have a story.
Okay, so I was gonna say like you're lying to our guest.
I've got 2.
All right, we'll go
Okay.
with Sean because he's better anyway.
Sean.
I'll tell you the titles of both. I've titled them
Oh gosh.
Expensive Piñata,
Uh-huh.
and then I bit a kid in a jump house.
He's a biter. He's one of those
I wonder
kids.
what happens in that one.
So here's what happened. We'll go with the I bit a kid in a jump house first.
Yeah, please.
So I'm at this birthday party. It's not my birthday party. Of course, if it were my birthday party, I wouldn't have to bite kids. That all
Okay.
follows, right? That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. The logic's there.
Better logic than Gorb.
Yeah.
Gorb will crush you.
He's a
I'll bite
balloon.
Gorb too. Yeah. One bite for me for Gorb. He's popped. He's done. Anyway, so there's a jump house, right? As it said in the title.
Yep.
And there were these kids. They were a little older than me, like 2-3 years.
Uh-huh.
And they were just really picking on me for no reason in the jump house. Always like pushing me over, wrestling me.
Always some jerks at birthdays.
Oh yeah, kids are a-holes. I could say that, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Kids are a-holes. And and so they keep wrestling me and I didn't know what to do, and so I got mad enough and I bit the kid, like on the arm.
Nice.
Yeah, so we come out of the jump house and he's crying, and honestly, it wasn't hard because like as a kid, I wasn't a violent person. I was very like reserved and like I just kept to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I just bit the kid like just a little hard enough for him to like leave me alone. At least I would want him to be like, "Oh, that kid's weird. He bit me. I'm gonna leave him alone." Like that's good enough for me. Think
Right.
I'm weird all you want. Just leave me alone. And so he gets out. He's like tearing up. He's telling his mom, "Oh, he bit me, blah blah." And I'm trying to explain that like your kid has been harassing me all freaking day.
Right.
And I bit him once just to like get him to leave me alone. And now I'm in trouble. Like no.
I like
So-
how you're reasoning with the adult.
Yeah. Right.
Well, you can try.
That's another thing. Also, people, when I was like 1 year old, I was talking in full sentences. They'd call me at the park the talking baby.
Nice.
Pretty neat. Anyway,
What the heck?
I'm dead serious.
I'm just trying to imagine
Ask my
that.
mother.
Just sitting there like talking to the pigeons. That
Like
are like,
full sentences. Not to pigeons, to people. I mean, they're the
Pigeon
same
people.
thing. Pigeon people. So yeah, so, I'm sitting there in trouble, quotes, you can't see my fingers, listeners, but quotes, in trouble. And I got pissed off because like I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I bit the kid, but like he started it,
Yeah.
It's one of those classic situations where the person being bullied gets in
Classic
trouble.
situation.
this
Right.
could have been our "Am I the Butthole" story.
That's true. I'm not
maybe.
the butthole.
Just
Put
I
it
never
on
had
I don't
Reddit
think
and
it's
we'll
the-
cycle around to it.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I didn't get to go to the piñata. So afterward, I stole his candy.
Nice. Revenge of the biter.
Yeah. So, next story.
Mhm.
Okay. What was it? Oh, expensive piñata. Okay. So, this one happened in my adult years. So, let's fast forward about 13 years
Okay.
from that first party.
So he's now 13 years old.
Right. One of my friends was turning 21. And
Oh my gosh.
their family are huge drinkers. Like, borderline alcoholics. Kind of interesting. And so we go to his birthday party and there's a piñata there and we're all wondering, why is there a piñata? Like, is everyone going to be so like drunk or something that the parents are going to be like, woo, candy. I'm like 40, but yay, candy. No? Okay.
That'll be me.
Yeah. And so they had all of us who were like in our early 20s like hit the piñata. So when it finally like opened up, there were about 200 little shot bottles in there. And each one of those, I don't know for our listeners, of those of you guys who are of age, if you've ever been to like the liquor store, each of those bottles is like $4. Okay?
Okay.
Dude, That piñata, I asked his mom. Well, his abuelita bought it, his grandma, but which makes it even funnier. It cost her like $300 for the piñata. Yeah.
Oof.
Dang.
I don't
Like what, dude? That'd be the budget for my whole party.
Yeah, I don't have the kind of money to just drop on one item with a piñata.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff I've never understood, like that and party favors.
Yeah.
Like, you already got them there. You don't need to bribe them.
You're already feeding them.
What are they going to do, not come back next year? I don't know.
But I mean, coolest, most expensive piñata I've ever seen, but not cool enough for me to buy one.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I'm right there with you. All right. So, how about you, Cheyenne? Do you have any fun party stories?
Oh, tell us that one you were telling before we started this.
What?
I like the little mouse squeak.
Yeah, squeaky door.
Well, a lot of my parties, like, were all just fun. Because my mom, like, went through, like, a lot to just, like, plan them out to make sure that they're themed.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were just all really fun. They're, like, I don't have a specific memory. I just remember, like, little splurts here and there.
Splurts.
Sports.
But, like, you know, my mom just planned, like, a Wizard of Oz themed wedding for me. Wedding?
Wedding?
Wait.
Da, da, da.
Birthday for me. And, she, like, planned Powerpuff Girls. She planned Horse. Like, she made sure, like, it was really fun. So,
Wow.
that's basically, like,
I dig it.
my memories. I remember someone almost got stung by, like, a really big wasp at one of my birthday parties. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Nope. Jeez.
Triggered her.
This was
So-
the one
I thought she
talking
was going to
about.
say jellyfish.
I didn't talk about any birthday parties before this podcast. Just want to make sure.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm exposed.
Exactly. Okay, so when I was, like, 4,
You were like 4 or you were 4?
I was 4. I don't...
It was as if she was 4 years old.
You know, my mom was handing me presents and stuff, and, like, I was opening all of them. And then there was one that had, like, a dead bee on it.
Ugh.
But neither my mom or me saw it. So I put it down straight on my knee. And
Ah.
it stung me. And I cried for, like, 20 minutes.
Bees are lame.
That's terrible.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't like bees.
It was already dead.
You know what makes that story
That's why it was
sadder?
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
You killed it even more.
It was already dead. That's why I don't
Now it
understand
was
why.
for sure dead.
Double dead.
Double dead.
Yeah, so that was, like, the only thing that I can really remember. Because all my parties were just so fun, and I had so many people there that... Just so many memories.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I turned 18, well, my friend and I turned 18. Cheyenne,
Uh-huh.
among with some others, planned a party for us, and we went to. We know these people.
No.
We know these people who have a house that's on a big, like, open property with, like, no borders, like
Yep, I remember now.
yeah, like just a bunch of, like, they got a volleyball court there, a pool, and then just like a bunch of open land where, like, raw Moreno Valley, you know. But anyway, we went over there and we played paintball.
Nice.
And I was ready for this. I came prepared. I put on catcher's gear. So I had, like, shin pads and, like, the chest protector. I think I rolled up some newspapers, put them in my arms. I was walking out there like Iron Man.
Oh, gosh.
I was ready. And then by the end of the day, I was like, it's too slow. It's not fun enough. So I took it all off and started dominating because I was a man.
Okay.
You shed your armor.
I
Were
did.
even more valiant of a warrior.
Yeah, I shed my armor just as a...
Snake sheds its skin.
I was going to say like
He's a snake.
I was going to say like a caterpillar sheds the cocoon and becomes a butterfly.
Or a crab sheds its shell and gets a new one.
Does it do that?
They do that. That's a real thing.
They don't shed their shell.
It's
Hermit
the same
crabs.
idea.
Hermit crabs will get big enough they have to start moving into shells.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean like a shell like a beet. I meant like a crab, like their exoskeleton. They lose it and they regrow it when they get bigger. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
the
about?
exoskeleton.
Yeah, sorry.
What he's saying is, what John's trying to say is that he has crabs, and so he knows. He's an expert.
I don't think that's what I was trying to say.
We'll leave it to the listeners to decide that one.
Can we not? Can I fix that?
No, Luke's got to finish his.
Oh, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so I do have time.
Oh well, I actually got a couple
Are
more
we moving
birthday
on?
stories now that we're still on the topic.
It's about the time you got crabs.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Luke-
at this birthday,
wait, is
right? It
Luke
was
done
down by
with
this.
his?
He
Yeah.
was.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, he's done.
He's got to talk about beasting as Iron Man and taking off his armor and his pants.
Beasting Iron Man?
And...
I thought I heard.
But yeah.
That.
Is that not what you said?
Yeah. What?
Bee sting, not bee sting. Bee sting.
It still sounds the same.
Yeah. So not bee sting. Bee sting.
I don't even know.
Yeah. So like, there's beast mode and bee sting.
Beast mode. So when you go into beast mode, you get
go
bee
beast
stung?
mode. When you go to beast mode, you're bee sting, and then there's bee sting.
Like beast is a verb,
And
you're beasting.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Exactly. You're
This
bee
is
sting.
brand new to me.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet. I mean, it makes sense, grammatically.
I just
grammatically.
Grammatically.
None of the words make sense today.
Anyway,
Go ahead, Dylan.
So, getting back to Kara's birthday party, the one that we just went to yesterday, it was dinosaur themed, and so what happened was her dad was really cool for him to do this, but he goes into the back and he actually dressed up as the dinosaur from Toy Story. It's Rex, right? That's what his name is?
Yes.
Yeah. So he dresses up as Rex and he comes
not
out.
Gorp.
He dresses up, comes out all inflated and everything, and his wife, the Kara's mom, calls her over like, oh hey, come over here, come look at this, and so she walks to the back patio door where like he's like in the kitchen about to come outside, and so she sees him walk out as like an inflatable dinosaur and just starts freaking out, but it was a little funny because she like runs the other way, and like what some kids do when they get frightened like that, she was crying a little bit. No, I'm not saying that's like I enjoy children in pain kind of thing, but she was a little tough kid, and so after a while when they explain like no, it's just daddy, look, he's in the costume, and so she's like okay, and she like stopped crying, and she like took some pictures with him and everything, and she was still smiling, which was kind of funny. Just like she toughened up real quick. But then the other birthday story I had was also when I was celebrating a dinosaur-themed birthday party. And I was opening my gifts, and I got this outfit that was like, it had like a T-Rex on on this like white shirt, and then the like little basketball shorts or whatever also had a little T-Rex patch on them. And so I was like, oh, this is cool, thank you, whoever got me the gift. And then it was like a couple gifts later, I opened up another box, and it had the exact same outfit on it. And I, like, me just as a kid, I wasn't, like, really thinking clearly. I just made the comment of, like, out loud, there's like, oh, I got this outfit. Like, just, not
jerk.
Well, that's the thing, though, is I wasn't trying to come off as, like, a jerk. I'm just like, oh, I got this one. Like, just in the sense of, like, oh, I got another outfit
cool,
to
I got
wear.
two.
Yeah, exactly. But my dad just, like, heard that, and he smacked me against the head. Like, stop being so rude. Like, it's like, what did I do? I wasn't, like, as a kid, I'm like, I don't comprehend what I just said wrong. Like, I just said I had this. Like,
Just don't do it.
yeah.
You know what's funny? At the beginning of your story, you're like, yeah, I had a dinosaur-themed party of my own. For our listeners who don't know, Dylan and his wife are into dinosaurs. So
Really
I
into
was trying to
dinosaurs.
figure out, was this when he was a child or like last year?
You know what? Maybe this year's birthday party I'll actually do a dinosaur thing. We'll see. But yeah, so that's all the fun party stories I have. But I know next week, guys, we're going to be recording our Halloween episode. We've talked about this. However, I've got some really creepy stuff to bring up right now. Apparently, I saw this article where the FBI raided this compound that was sued and went under and out of business for like just I don't know, like mishandling things and just being real shady and like fraudulent with stuff. So it was like, I think it was more so for like a money thing, right? They go into the building that they closed down, and this is in, I believe, Phoenix, Arizona, the article said. I forget what the specific medical facility was. But they found a Frankenstein horror show in this building. Like, I kid you not, it was literally body parts from male and female alike that were sewn together in like all kinds of weird ways. Heads were connected to shoulders, arms were connected to not the torsos are weird, but like just all over the place, like things that did not match. Like you could tell there was like stitch work and all kinds of just Frankensteinery. Like the article said, like there was like 200 plus heads, 300 plus shoulders and arms, like just all kinds of madness. I think in total there was almost 1,800 body parts. Like, just again, weird stuff, heads, and they even said like mutilated genitals, like stuff that was in coolers, like infected with like pus and whatever else. It was just gross.
That's why I'm not an organ donor.
Yeah, like, and dude, what's sad too is like this business or whatever. I was reading the article and looking into it, and apparently it's like these people were, how they got the body parts is they would go around to these people who had just lost loved ones, and they thought the loved ones who had just lost somebody, they thought that they were donating the bodies to be like researched on for like cancer research or like trying to help like cure diseases and stuff. But then people they took the body parts, would sell them on the black market, and then they did whatever the frick was going on here with all these other ones. Just like ugh.
Sounds like
So you're
something out of
telling me-
Riverdale.
Yeah, it's just ugh, it's just gross. I couldn't imagine like because even some of the cops got like PTSD from it. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine like having to go investigate this thing, open up a cooler, and then find infected, pussy body parts. Like just someone's probably thrown up right now on the other end of their headphones right now, just hearing the story. Like, I mean, thankfully the article didn't show pictures, but I don't even want to try to imagine.
Yeah.
It'd be a nightmare.
Cheyenne would be curious to see those pictures.
John's a freak.
So, John, you said that's why you wouldn't be an organ donor?
That's why I'm not an organ donor. For two reasons.
Because it would disturb you if that happened to you.
Yeah.
You'd be dead.
That's still disturbing.
To you?
To me and probably to my family.
It's not disturbing to you. You're dead.
It's disturbing to me now.
But you wouldn't know about it.
I know about it, right? He just told me.
But you'd be dead.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
No, it's not. Ignorance is ignorance.
And I love it.
No.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's, like I said, there's just a horror show. Again, like I said, it's just creepy, and who does that? It's just weird in all the
It's
wrong
kind of
ways.
like the human centipede.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Human Centipede, like I said, Frankenstein.
Movies are terrifying.
Even like Hostel. I don't know if you ever saw those movies, John.
I don't think so.
It's just like torture flicks with just, bad stuff.
It's like a Reddit 50-50 challenge.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
What is a Reddit 50?
You don't know about
You don't know what that is?
Explain it to him.
No. Wait, hold on.
You know what it is?
I do.
Okay, she does know.
Don't do this at home, please.
Yeah, it's...
Ever. So
It's
basically, what it is, it's like you can click on a good picture, or you can click on a bad picture, or a video.
Right.
So like it has an option where it says like, cute kitten plays with banana or something like that, and then the next one could be like man gets decapitated while someone watches.
Yeah, like they pretty much...
Yeah, so basically you gotta like, you're taking a guess which one you think you're gonna get.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
I've got an
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, no.
That should be a segment on our
No,
podcast.
thank you.
Nope.
No.
No,
Come
thank
on.
you.
For part of the Halloween
No.
one.
No.
You cannot.
Because it's not just gory pictures. I mean, like you could see something that's like nasty sexual. Like it's because
Yeah.
it's like they'll throw something in there that could be like adorable, cute, and like that's where you have like the really good end of the spectrum, or you can get something really, really bad. Like
All right.
Yeah, but that's straight up like evil.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching a man get decapitated for your entertainment.
well, I don't know that they necessarily show that because I mean that's that they wouldn't be able to show that online.
If you're watching
pretty
mutilation,
sure it
Have you
does.
ever been
whatever,
to Live Leak? They show stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, they could probably show like genital mutilation or something else just as bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's straight up evil stuff. Like if you're watching that for entertainment, that's stop. Okay. I don't know.
That's
She
how
needs to
serial killers
rethink
are
her
born.
priorities.
Yeah.
Or
What?
It's from Harry Potter.
What'd you say though?
I said she needs to sort out her priorities.
are you guys Harry Potter fans? 'Cause I didn't get that reference.
It's Ron. Ron says it to Hermione in like the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
I've seen like the first two, but it was years and years ago, so I don't really remember.
yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
It's fine.
Well,
We're gonna do a Harry Potter episode.
I did like the movies though. For the
always-
record, I'm not one of those who's like, "Oh God, this movie sucks." No, I actually liked them.
Yeah,
Nice.
people are just too stuck up when it comes to movies. I mean,
Yeah.
like I know like there have been some bad reviews I've given, but I mean for the most part, it's just people are just like super uptight, like yeah, it wasn't perfect. Like, just like come on, relax.
Only people with that voice too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they're perfect.
All right. So I think we got a couple more topics before we transition into our entertainment portion. But I think John and Cheyenne, that's on you guys to take away here.
All right. So this next one, I might make this a weekly thing, guys, if it goes well.
All
I
right.
think it will.
We'll see what happens.
So this is what I call John's weekly annoyance.
Workley.
Weekly annoyance. You guys ready for this?
What did I do?
You want to know what
I'm ready.
annoys me this week?
What? You
What?
already
What are you
know?
laughing?
I don't know if it's the same thing we just talked about a little while ago, but
No, but we could add that to it.
we should
Oh
add
my
that.
goodness. I'm excited now.
So we'll go with my weekly annoyance I had planned, and then we'll go with the one Dylan's laughing so hysterically at.
Yes.
It wasn't funny.
So this week, my weekly annoyance is people who put vague posts up on social media.
Oh yeah.
We need to get the Jaden Smith segment. Jaden Smith segment, because that's exactly the kind of thing
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah. Okay, so I hate it. You'll get Susan up on there posting like, "Man, I'm not feeling it today. Wish someone was there for me." Something like that.
Right.
And so then people comment like, "Oh, what's wrong, Susan?" She'd be like, "Nothing. I don't want to talk about it on Facebook." What do you mean, Susan?
Yeah.
You just put it on Facebook.
Susan's trying to get her stuff out there. Yeah.
Freaking Susan.
Freaking Susan.
Yeah.
Hey,
No. Dude.
It frustrates me to no end. Like whenever I see that, I want to like go find them in person. Like, stop whatever I'm doing that day. Go find them in person and ask them what's wrong. And if they don't tell me, I'm gonna smack them right in the face.
Yeah, because I'm right there
Like-
with you when it's just like they want attention, but like, no, I don't want to tell you what's really going on. Like,
It's personal.
well, so then
No,
stop
it's not.
posting about it. Like,
Yeah. Stupid people.
so
So that's my weekly annoyance that I had planned. Now, Dylan did something extremely annoying just before we started recording.
Okay, you start off this, and then I'm gonna have my rebuttal.
I'm a mediator because I
Rebuttal?
witnessed
Is
it.
that-
What does that make
Might
me?
be.
Am I just the audience?
You're just
Yeah,
the
you're
audience.
just the audience.
You get to
Okay.
observe.
You're a listener.
So I'll root for, I'll like cheer for whoever I think is winning.
All right. So,
Okay.
So, I'm sitting at the computer outside of our studio here, typing out like some things for our topics and whatever. Dylan walks up to me on the side of me, and it all happens so fast, you guys. I hear a, and then his hand like wafting up at my nose, but like you got to understand, Dylan does funny stuff like that all the time, and it's not always mean. It's like sometimes he just wants you to smell something. But so when he wafted his hand, I went, and it was so bad. like what the heck? Like, I know it's my fault because I heard the fart and he did waft his hand, but like subconsciously I'm like, oh man, like it's Dylan, he's just being funny, he's trying to show me something funny. That wasn't funny.
he didn't put.
What? Best case scenario, what could have been the smell that was funny?
I don't know.
He didn't put.
I don't know.
He didn't put two and do together.
I didn't. No. And you know what? You know what's the worst part about that? Is I smelled it instantly. Okay, you need to buy thicker jeans. Okay? Invest the extra $10
Oh my
for a
gosh.
thicker pair of jeans so you don't smell up every room every time you let some poop gas out your butt.
I don't know if he needs to wear thicker jeans.
Thicker
You
jeans.
just need to start wearing underwear like a normal person.
I
that
wear
too.
underwear. But okay, now here's my rebuttal. No pun intended.
Rebuttal.
Oh my goodness.
So here's what's going on, right? I was sitting in here, and I think I was talking to Cheyenne or somebody about something. John comes up behind me and starts grabbing my chest, all right,
nipples.
squeezing my breasticles, chesticles, whatever you want to call them, real hard, all right? So this was essentially me paying him back for that. But yeah, I felt very proud of myself for getting that cup just right, and then just bam, wafting it. I tossed a grenade right into his nostrils, and he was willing to accept it because he didn't hesitate at all. He just
I feel like grabbing your nipples is not equal to being farted at.
not your ad. I just happened to fart near you and then just
Farted
give you
at
some of the
me.
smell.
Cheyenne, what do you think?
And for the record, I
Unfortunately,
do wear underwear. I'm just saying.
I unfortunately was there to witness both of those things.
Yeah, see? So she
I
knows.
got you both beat.
No.
Okay, I'm sitting there trying to take a nap before this podcast happened. And Dylan comes up to me for no reason at all and licks me right on the forehead.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
I had to wake him up.
He wasn't asleep.
Well, he was trying to act like he was, though, and we had stuff to do.
Yeah, that's what you do. Like, you pretend you're asleep until you fall asleep.
That's literally how
That's
you go
true.
to sleep. Yeah.
That's how you go to sleep.
Yeah, well, again, he needed it.
But you licked me on the forehead.
You
Yeah.
lint liquor.
At least he didn't put any bodily fluids on you, John.
That's true. I mean,
And
it was bodily gas.
At least John didn't do that to you, Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, woe is me. I win this one.
No, you don't.
Tiny
You're
violence.
just trying to throw a pity party.
That's right, I am. It's the best party I've had in a while.
You're just
That's
miserable.
sad.
It's his party. He can cry if he wants to.
Oh
Alright.
boy.
So, was there anything else for us to go over before we transition to entertainment?
I got some stories from my work.
Oh,
You
okay.
want to hear about that?
Not in and out.
From our special
The work
guest.
that is unnamed.
Well, I work at, we sell mostly chicken.
Oh.
Yeah. And, we have this drive-through system where we take orders in the drive-through. So, we were all outside. Oh, and how it works is that, like, we kind of have, like,
Popeyes.
Yeah, Popeyes. We kind of have a specific way to turn in. Like, we don't make people turn in that way, but it's like, if you do turn in the opposite way, you're kind of a jerk.
Yeah, like you're cutting in line.
Yeah, basically it's like you're cutting in line, because there will be like 12 cars outside of our drive-through line.
Also, guys, it's not Popeyes. Sorry, I was just joking.
Nope.
But we had this one time where it was like 9 o'clock at night, and this lady does the thing that you're not really supposed to do and cuts in front of everyone. And, you know, usually people, all they do is just kind of yell at each other and, you know, exchange some very very bad words
Very
to each
colorful verbiage.
very interesting words to each other, and that's usually it. They usually all they do is they just talk to each other, and then that's it. So we're like, okay, they're just getting upset. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. And then the lady in front gets out of her car, gets into her trunk, and then pulls out a baseball bat and threatens to hit the car
Oh
behind
my
her.
goodness.
Yikes.
Yeah. So we were all scared because we didn't know what she was gonna pull out. Because she got in her trunk and we're like, is it gonna
Right,
be...
you don't know what she
It's
has.
gonna be-
Could have been a bag of bees.
Yeah, I guess. It could have, like... So, it was just a really insane time. And then, like, she wouldn't move until that lady was, like, 10 feet behind her. So, it put a damper on our line, and we basically had to walk with her the whole time, and she got free food, so...
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that sounds like a fun day. In
It
your life.
was.
What did the bat lady get?
No, that was the lady. The bat lady got free food. Yeah.
So-
Justice?
Yeah, I do like justice with the question mark.
That's why I don't understand, because she's the one who got free food. I mean, I get the guy who had to do the situation never dealt with that before.
Right.
So that was the way to calm her down, but it's
I would
still...
have told her to leave.
we,
You brought a weapon to the
We
argument.
are not allowed to do that.
I would have. I'd have been fired gladly for that.
But yeah, that was
Get your crazy.
crazy. That was a crazy time. Also, the place I work at, I get chances to be like a mascot, the place's mascot. So recently I went to an event as the mascot, and it involved a whole bunch of little children. And I almost ran over like 3 of them. It's fine.
Nice.
That's the way to do it. Teach those kids who's boss.
10 points each child.
See, what happened is you can't control kids. They just run around and they do whatever they want. And I only have like 3. I have a tiny window of vision. It's like the size of like a piece of paper. And if you're below that vision, I cannot see you.
Right.
So all of the children were below that vision. So, What?
So your restaurant has a mascot.
yeah. And also another kid asked me if I was a furry. So
Wow.
A furry?
a furry.
What does that mean?
It's,
Oh.
Luke explained.
it's,
Say that again.
he wants to know what a furry is. It's
Say
Nope.
no. We're not gonna talk about it.
it's not.
All
No.
right. Well,
Don't Google it.
I think I'm gonna have to now.
I mean, it's not. A lot of that is not that bad, but there are just some people who make it worse.
Uh-huh.
Some people do it for fun. Some people do it for other things.
And on that, I think it's time for us to transition to the entertainment portion of the podcast. Oh my gosh.
What just happened?
Dude, we transitioned. We're moving forward now.
How's the transition?
Trannies now.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was
What
that kind of
happened
party.
to the 2 genders?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's
technically, it's still
If you're
2.
transitioning.
Yeah.
John's got 5.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, he's going to the other one. That's
No, I'm a man.
no. You heard it here, folks.
you
John
born
is
on
now
this?
You sounded
transitioning.
real certain about that. I am a man.
I didn't hesitate.
All right. So speaking of men, speaking of doctors, Robert Downey Jr. has signed on to be Dr. Dolittle. Woo! I'm excited for this. How about you, Luke?
I'm always excited for anything that has Robert Downey Jr. So
Yep.
for the last 10 years, it's been Marvel movies and a couple of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see how he does in this.
I think he's
I'm
gonna do
excited.
amazing.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be
He was in Charlie Bartlett.
dude. That
What
was
the heck
a great.
is Charlie Bartlett?
That's a great movie. You
That
gotta
movie's
watch it.
awesome. The kid sells drugs. It's a really good.
Oh, he was in Zodiac too.
The kid, he was actually in
That
Star Trek
movie's
too. He's the kid
awesome.
that died.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
He plays
the,
the
kids so
Scottish kid, Scotty.
What?
Anyway, Charlie
Robert
Bartlett's-
Downey Jr.
No. Charlie
we're talking
Bartlett's a
about
good
Charlie
movie.
Bartlett.
But Robert Downey Jr. is in there as the principal
He
of the
plays the
school he goes to.
principal / the love interest dad.
Yes, but it's a good movie. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He has
no,
a gun.
I think it'll definitely be cool to see Robert Downey Jr. doing something other than MCU stuff
Yeah,
for a
that'd be
while.
nice.
So I mean, like, yeah, so him doing a comedy role, I'm definitely on board for. And I mean, because I know he had, I think, Due Date, that movie with him and Zach Galifianakis.
That's right.
Yeah, that one
was a
came
good
out during
movie.
the MCU
I like that
too,
movie.
right? Like within
Yeah,
the
it
time
did.
frame. Yeah, so getting more comedy Robert Downey Jr. is great because he was awesome in Tropic Thunder. He was awesome in Due Date. So yeah, Looking
He
forward
just
to it.
graded everything he did.
You know, Tropic Thunder is a movie that couldn't be made nowadays.
No, it
With
could
Robert
not.
Downey Jr. playing a black guy.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Gosh, man. Yes, everyone's a little too sensitive nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But yeah, so that's definitely something to look forward to. In other comedy news, Ryan Reynolds has signed on for Deadpool 3, and I believe it's confirmed that he will be part of the MCU.
Did you say Brian
You
Reynolds?
definitely said
I did
Brian
not say-
Reynolds.
You
No, I
totally
did
said
not.
Brian
Yep.
Reynolds.
No, I did not. You guys tried to call
Replay.
me out on some crap last week. And,
Listeners,
but the last
comment.
time you called me out on something you were wrong about, I said Ryan Reynolds.
Hold
Okay,
on.
it's
Mijo.
okay. Chill.
No, I will fight.
No.
I'm gonna fight.
We're gonna leave it up to the listeners.
Gonna fight.
Just scrub through
No,
the
guys,
list.
hold on.
listeners-
There's no need to do this. Instant replay now.
No,
See,
I didn't.
we were right.
No, you weren't. All right, so yeah, Ryan
Listeners,
Reynolds
comment
has
to
signed
see if he
on
said
to play
Brian or Ryan.
Deadpool in the MCU, and the movie's gonna be rated R. Luke, how do you feel about that?
I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't like anything.
He's doing.
Oh my goodness.
Aren't they all already rated R?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a problem with rated R movies.
No, I have a problem with Marvel going there. I think Marvel movies are like good for everybody, and when
That's
you make
fair.
it rated R, it just kind of ruins it. You know, it makes it so that some people can't enjoy it like they enjoyed the other ones.
But it's who Deadpool is. It's not a kids movie.
I get that.
Whoa.
I just don't care for the character of Deadpool.
Okay, but I don't get like
It's not the movie. It's just the fact that Marvel made a character like Deadpool that I don't like.
right. But I mean, for them to make it rated R, that's them taking the appropriate route because they know who the character is. They're staying true to the character.
I'm
and they
not.
don't
I'm
want
not
people
saying they should have made a PG-13 version of Deadpool. I'm saying they shouldn't have made Deadpool.
Well, okay. So
I know it's radical, but I'm not in favor of Deadpool.
I will agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of Deadpool because like it's just too outrageous for me. But I don't have a problem with it being rated R.
No.
I'm good with watching him.
Yeah.
But did you say he was going to be in the MCU now?
Yeah, because he had
Okay.
meetings with the Marvel people and everything.
The only problem I'm seeing is that how are they going to incorporate him into the MCU movies without making all of them rated R?
Well, again, at that point, they could just you can get away with a lot of stuff in PG-13 rated movies. People don't know that, but I mean, I think you can have up to like a couple F-bombs. I'm not saying they're going to be dropping them
I
left
think
and
it's
right,
like
obviously.
max is 2 or 3.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, if he's just doing a side bit character, they're not going to have him throughout the whole movie cussing. They're not going to have super gory scenes like, him chopping off an enemy's head or something like that.
But still, like, I'd prefer that over the cussing because, like, the MCU movies, like Luke said, it's fun for everyone. Like, if you introduce cussing into it, there's a lot of parents.
That's what I'm saying. Ryan Reynolds and...
What the heck was that?
was that?
What?
Did we
Anyway,
move by a farm?
It's like echoing.
anyway,
The bleeding of sheep.
Oy.
All right. So, yeah, Ryan Reynolds will set the MCU on fire. It'll be great.
oh my goodness.
All right. Well, all
To
right.
burn it to the ground, maybe.
Yeah, and that'll be awesome. But since you guys don't like Ryan Reynolds in the MCU, how about Ryan Reynolds working with John Krasinski? Does that pique your interest?
What are they working on?
There's rumors that they're actually going to do a movie together where I think John Krasinski would also be directing it the same way he did with the horror movie he just did.
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
But this one's actually a comedy, and go figure with those two characters. But not that Deadpool as a character, but no, it's supposed to be something along the lines of this guy who can actually befriend imaginary friends that have been forgotten about. And so it's like he then like gets to take I don't know which one would be playing the role of like main star, and then like this person does the imaginary
friend.
character, yeah. But so it's like from the description of it, and I figure with those two actors, it sounds pretty funny to me. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
it
it's
should be
supposed
a
to
good one.
And I think they said something to the effect of like where it's supposed to be like you have funny encounters, but then there's also like other imaginary friends who have gotten like angry and bitter about stuff. So it's like they're kind of going to seek like a rampage revenge tour. So it's like they have to stop them too. So it's not just all like comedy, but there should be a little fun like throughout the whole thing.
All the chicks and Dylan who are into slightly older dudes are gonna go crazy over this
Whoa,
one.
whoa, whoa! Okay, John Krasinski just turned 40, and he still looks amazing.
I said
right?
slightly older.
Slightly older. Whatever.
I could see Ryan Reynolds as both the person imagineering.
Imaginary.
The Imagineer.
The
Imaginary.
Imagineer, the person imagining the friend, and I could see him as the imaginary friend. Because
Right.
like, he could be the crazy person who's talking to himself, but in his head he's looking at his imaginary
He's looking
friend.
at
But
John
he could
Krasinski
also
or
be the
something.
wacky imaginary friend that's part of someone's imagination.
Right.
I don't know. I think
Just
John
imagine.
Krasinski is going to be the one who's going to be imagining things.
Psych,
So you
it's
think-
claymation.
I thought you were about to say Clay Matthews.
Oh,
Is that another hunk?
But anything to
His
do
face.
with John Krasinski, I will see.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter who else is in it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, John Krasinski's awesome. Again, he's done a wide range of things, hasn't he? Like, because he's been all over the map. He's written, directed, and acted in his own horror movie with The Quiet Place.
Which was a
He
good
obviously
movie.
did comedy with The Office, and then he's done action stuff on the Amazon series with Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan.
Would
I
you
almost said
really
Jack
call
Reacher.
that a horror movie?
It was a suspense. movie.
Suspense, but okay, whatever. If you want to get super technical about
Well,
it,
you're the movie guy. I would think you'd be technical about it.
I will get technical about the things I need to. And when John Krasinski's present, I just adore him and love on him.
Such a fan.
The same way Pam should have.
The Third Reich.
Stop.
What about the Third Reich?
What the heck?
The Techno Turkey song.
First, we got sheep bleeding into the microphones, then we got Techno Turkeys.
Go
in
look
the
up
Third Reich.
Techno Turkey on YouTube. It's fantastic.
He uses that term generously, apparently.
Techno turkey.
You've never seen that one?
No.
They showed it to me, but yeah, it's
Phrase of the week: Techno Turkey.
no. Me and John thought it
No,
should be
yeah,
the other phrase that we were listening to when we were watching the video back.
Yeah, I called you when I called you a sack of salmon.
Yeah, sack of salmon.
Ooh.
It should be sack of salmon.
Okay.
Take your vote. No, I was
Write down in the comments,
You know what?
and we'll read them.
Let's let our
right
guests
now.
choose the phrase of the week: sack of salmon or
Techno Turkey.
techno turkey.
Pressure's on.
I like the idea of somebody just coming up to you and being like, "Sack of salmon."
All right,
All
there
right.
we go.
Phrase of the
Sack of
week:
salmon
sack
it
of
is.
salmon.
You gotta say it like that too. You can't just be like
Sack of
sack of
Luke's,
salmon.
Yeah, Luke's the sack of salmon.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And so, we were just talking about John Krasinski. Luke, is there anything else related to The Office that we could possibly talk about for the entertainment portion of the podcast?
Yes. It's also related to podcasts. We talked about it in
We're going
a few
out of
episodes
business.
back. Oh my goodness, out of business? Yeah, because we're not making a profit anymore. Guys, if you want to pay us,
Thanks,
the
Obama.
podcast will be even better.
Yep. We'll laugh that money all the way to the bank.
Yeah. But anyway, we talked about this a little while ago. Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsley started up their own podcast, and they just released the first episode.
Woohoo! Congratulations.
And here's how this works. It's called The Office Podcast. It's on
Right.
Spotify. Lots
Office
of the
Ladies.
same stuff.
Office ladies.
Office ladies.
Office Ladies.
Got it
yeah.
wrong, man.
Yeah, Office Ladies is what it's called. So it's on all of the same platforms that we are. So go check it out. It's kind of cool. They take an episode of The Office and just walk you through it and all the behind the scenes stuff, fun facts that you never knew.
Right.
So it's really cool. So they started out with the pilot, talked about the British version of it, some of the experiences they had. So if you haven't checked it out already, go ahead and do that. It's almost as good as our podcast.
I would even say, like, I won't judge any of our listeners for going to subscribe to that podcast over ours because, I mean, let's be honest here, all that Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsley have to do is, like, just do anything together, and
Dude, what
they're gonna
you said
get
doesn't
more.
make sense. Though.
They're gonna get
all of
more-
our listeners subscribe to them instead of us.
Yeah,
They're already subscribed to us.
Again, it's
You
like
mean
we
they're
have
listening
to
for us to be buried under them. It's like I don't see any other fate coming our way other than that. I mean, they don't have to do anything. They have the fame and the not profitability, but again, they just have the fame and iconicness.
You know
of
why?
being from The
Speak
Office.
for yourself that you're not iconic. Jeez. Don't speak
You don't
for
have your beard anymore. What's the icon?
Back to the sack of salmon over in the corner, Mr. Luke Byther.
Hey, well, I met both of them, so they were actually pretty down to earth.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
she knows.
Yeah.
they sound pretty down to earth on the podcast.
I have a picture with me and Jenna Fisher together, and we look exactly the same.
Oh,
We're all down to earth. That's what gravity is for.
Zinger.
did you guys hear that eye roll?
No.
It was loud.
Make a comment in the section if you heard it.
Anyway,
All right,
maybe
So-
carry forward.
Yeah,
Make a
we are
comment in the
trudging-
section, guys.
We are trudging through this episode. All right, so we have a little bit of a lively debate here. I mean, obviously, as you guys heard with us going through the MCU and Ryan Reynolds Deadpool crap, there's also another debate that we could have. What is better, The Office or Parks and Rec?
The Office.
Yep, The Office. Done. That's my statement. That's my argument.
See, but people who have arguments like that tend to just, like, not be open to any other
I'm open to hearing what your reasons
Well,
are.
I want to hear your reason for why The Office is better. Since
Well,
you
let's lay
opened
down,
your mouth first.
like, let's establish what we're
technically,
really
I just
doing.
presented the case, and then Luke said The Office
okay,
first.
well, Luke,
Let's be realistic. We're not trying to win over the other side right now.
No,
we're
we're
trying to
just-
win over the listeners who may be on the edge.
Right.
So I don't have to be open-minded, and I don't expect you guys to be open-minded either.
That's fair.
Nobody's going to
But I wanna
change
hear
their
your
opinion
reason.
here. Why The Office is better?
yeah.
Well, I haven't even heard your opinion yet.
We're asking you to go first.
Okay, what's your opinion, Cheyenne?
My opinion is that I don't know. They're all just a lot funnier to me.
All
The
what?
only-
You haven't given your opinion
No.
yet.
What Office or Parks and Rec?
I'm sorry, Parks and Rec. I like Parks and Rec better.
Okay, John.
And I am on the fence, so I'm going to be the mediator.
He's on the fence real hard.
I'm a huge fan of Parks and Rec, but I'm also a big fan of Office. The Office.
Yeah, here's what I would kind of say, like, because again, I like both shows. Like, let's get all that straight for the listeners. I just prefer The Office. But with, like, overall, I think what it's kind of come down to is, like, look at, like, the MCU, or just Marvel in general, and then DC, right? With Marvel, overall, they have a good, like, continuity between, like, all their different superheroes and stuff. However, I would still probably say, like, Batman's my favorite superhero. So it's like, there's little things with Parks and Rec where it's just, like, things stand out more for me. But overall, The Office, I think, has better characters, better this, better that. Like, overall, everything is well-rounded, as opposed to with Parks and Rec, there's only certain characters I really like. Anyway, continue.
I forgot what I was saying.
Okay, so we've all expressed which we like better. Now let's run back to Luke. Luke, why do you believe The Office is superior?
As we've all said, I appreciate both shows, and they're both my two favorite shows. I think The Office is a little bit better because I think the situations the characters end up in are better thought out, better written by the writers. The Parks and Recreation, they have some good characters. Ron Swanson is fantastic.
Right.
Andy Dwyer's pretty
Yes.
great too.
And April. Don't forget April.
April too. They're great characters, but they're all caricatures too. They're all like the equivalent of Kevin in The Office. Like he's the biggest caricature of that show. And that's like all that Parks and Recreation is. It's just exaggerations of people that you might meet in real life. The Office is a little bit more realistic. Things are still exaggerated, but rather than rely on absurd characters, the situations get ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's just
Michael hitting Meredith with his car. That's the kind of thing that you can imagine happening in real life, and they just take it and develop it in a way that you never would have expected.
Oh, yeah.
Fun run race for the cure.
Yeah, the fun run. I mean, stupid stuff like the title.
Yeah.
Do you have the title memorized? The answering
Oh, shoot,
message?
no, I have the T-shirt.
Yeah, because I
Oh,
know
man.
you have the T-shirt.
I think it's
Like the pro-ams.
Michael Scott's. I don't know.
All right, we'll come back to it.
But just the situations are outrageous. It's a little bit like Seinfeld as well. Like not every character has to be a Kramer, but the thing that Seinfeld is good at is creating scenarios that nobody ends up in. Just outrageous things that are hilarious to watch. So that's why I am more on the side of The Office than Parks and Recreation.
Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure.
See, I knew pro-am was in there. Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I'm right there with you, Luke, because it's like, and I know people could probably point to like, oh, well, The Office, the last couple seasons sucked. It's like, yeah, they probably weren't the best. Obviously, they had the finale and everything else.
You
but
could say the same about Parks and Rec.
yeah, you really could. So it's like that's on both grounds to make the argument for. And then the other thing, it's like The Office ran longer, and I think for good reason because it had more stuff to delve into, more things to deal with situationally, as you were talking about. And I think one of the things that was kind of a big turnoff for me, and again, not that I hate the show, I do like Parks and Rec, but it was almost kind of the same thing where, like, in King of the Hill, you watch some episodes, and more often than not, it's situations that, like, you watch an episode, and, like, in King of the Hill, Peggy will get herself into situations that then everyone else has to solve. And it's kind of like the same thing with Parks and Rec. Leslie Knope gets herself into situations that everyone else has to solve, and it's just like, I got kind of tired of it after a while, and it was just like, I can't really feel sorry for a character that gets themselves into bad situations and then just like, trying to dig themselves out. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like you shot yourself in the foot, sort of thing. I don't know. Something weird about it. Like, I just didn't care for that type of character development or whatever else, and just overall, like I said, the stories were just a lot better in The Office. So,
Over to Cheyenne.
Oh, I thought I already went.
I don't think you finished your thought. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I do like both, but if I were to like watch one, I'd be like, I'd want to watch Parks and Rec. Just because of the fact that they're all so over the top, and I'd really honestly want to hang out with all of them because I'd be like, these dudes are ridiculous, but they're so funny. But The Office, I like The Office, but I only really like it for like Jim and Pam. Because everyone else is just so cringy to me, and I would hate to be in those situations. Like, if I had somebody like Michael as my boss, I would probably quit in the first, 2 weeks. I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably want to kill him myself.
Of course, I couldn't handle Leslie Knope either.
Yeah, that's...
But, at least she's, not...
Go on.
At least she's doing it because she loves everyone. Michael's just awkward and...
Michael's doing it for the love of everyone.
Yeah, Michael's doing it for the love of everyone. She's doing it because she genuinely cares, but she doesn't know how
It's
to,
true. She is a better person.
I mean...
Look, but think about
I'd say she is.
Think about
Yeah.
Michael Scott, though. He made that generous promise to Scott's Tots, and he wanted to give those kids their college tuition.
Yeah, that was easy to make that promise, wasn't it?
What a loving man.
Just not as easy to follow through.
It's so funny, I know it's because getting to that episode, I know we're kind of digressing from the whole debate which one's better, but with that episode, I know most people I've talked to, you guys included, they find that episode so cringy because of the whole college tuition promise. Me, on the other hand, I'm just cringing over the side story that's going along at the same time, where it's Ryan and Dwight trying to get Jim fired as assistant manager or whatever.
Yeah, that whole episode. I don't know. I didn't like that one.
But yeah, so I don't know. I thought I was dying though at the Scott's Tots things. That's probably just because I didn't want to go to college and didn't waste all that money. So I was just like, this is funny to me. You guys are stuck in misery though.
I will say, I did have to give it credit to Steve Carell because he makes me hate Michael so much.
Yeah,
So-
Steve Carell nails it.
I was telling my husband the other day, I literally don't see Steve Carell. I only see Michael Scott. They're two separate people now.
Hey, Michael Scott.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make your dreams come true.
John, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're lithium.
That's an Office quote.
They're lithium. The batteries from the episode.
Oh, you're talking about the laptop batteries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mine's more from a television standpoint than a character one. I like Parks and Rec better, I believe, only because I think it's more consistent in the sense of halfway through the show they didn't get rid of the main character. You know what I mean? Like they did with Michael Scott.
In all fairness, Michael Scott was out for the last 2 seasons only. He was there for the first 7.
Right, but that's where stuff gets real. It's closing up the entire series. You would want Michael Scott there, So that's my issue with it as to why I would like Parks and Rec better. But the flip side of why I would like The Office better is because, again, like Luke was saying, the situations that they get into, they're more realistic. They're absurd.
Oh yeah.
But it's stuff that I could do at my office. If I had coworkers that we actually talk to each other, because not that we hate each other. It's just in drafting, you don't really communicate with each other.
Concentrate.
It's your own thing, right?
Just draw buildings.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah. So I love both shows, but for different reasons. I prefer one over the other, just depending on how I feel that day.
whatever you want to categorize as to what you want to watch, kind of thing. And another thing working in The Office's favor, they've had an episode directed by Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah. Do you know what episode it was?
I forget off the top of my head, but I know that
too. Yeah.
But see, and the other thing, just getting to again, the writing of the show, I like those quippy lines where it's they're trying to say something sentimental, but it comes off wrong. There was I think it was the episode where what is it? Michael, he's sitting there, and I don't know if it was after he like broke up or everyone's kind of like single for Valentine's Day or whatever, and he's sitting on the couch with Kevin. You know, they're both kind of talking about like how like, oh man, so and so broke up with me, or oh yeah, I think Kevin was saying like, oh yeah, my fiance called it off, we're no longer engaged.
Yeah.
And then Michael's just like, to console him, and you tell he's trying to be genuine. He's like, you know what? You don't deserve her. Like, he just walks away.
Yeah.
But like, it's like those lines, and Kevin's just sitting there nodding his head like, oh, thanks, man.
I thought that he did that because he wanted to start dating his fiance.
No, you never see Kevin's fiance.
I just watched that episode, so that's what I got from it. But
Yeah, no, I don't think it was anything like
No,
that.
it's
It was
just because Michael's dumb.
yeah, it's like, he was trying to be caring, but he's just dumb in the way he comes
Yeah.
across. So he said it backwards, where he should have been like, she doesn't deserve you, but instead he said you don't deserve her.
One of my favorite Michael lines is, "Oh, how the turntables
Yeah. Yeah, again.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wait, fun fact about The Office, real fast.
Okay.
You remember the episode where Dwight had a medicine ball that he was sitting on instead
Oh,
of a
yeah,
chair?
the
Yes.
yoga ball, yeah.
So when John Krasinski actually went to go puncture it, it was just supposed to deflate slowly, but instead popped. So if you watch him, you can see him trying to cover his laughter and jump out of the shot.
Yeah,
So he doesn't make ruin the shot.
that's funny.
Yeah.
See, and it's things like that that are going to be talked about on the new Office podcast.
Right,
Yeah.
the little
So go check it
Go
out.
check it out.
And I'm sure they'll send some listeners our way as well.
Dude, if they could have us on, I would love to talk about The Office. I know.
Office
How many
ladies,
people probably write
bring
in
us on.
Please,
Sponsor
we love
us.
you guys.
We're a relatively new podcast too, so
Yeah, we could
bring
team,
us on.
We could team up. It'll be great.
even if you just bring me, you know.
No,
Nope.
no.
We're well known.
Well, I'm
in
the only
Moreno
lady
Valley
here,
area.
so
Dylan's kind of a lady.
Yeah, I like the dudes.
So anyway, it seems to me what this boils down to, if you're a listener who's listening to this and is like, well, what one should I start watching? Well, watch both of them. But if you're more into ridiculous characters, Parks and Rec is probably the show for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're more into ridiculous situations, The Office is probably going to be the show for you.
Yeah, because it's a fun thing where you can watch cringy situations from afar, but still enjoy it. All right. That being said, Cheyenne, I think you had something you wanted to discuss.
how about those Disney movie remakes?
But
It's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, well, The Lion King was the best. Mwah.
That was the
live
best.
action though.
Okay, well,
No, it's
The Lion
literally
King.
all fake.
The Lion King has a special place in my heart. So, like, when I went and saw it, I was gonna be very critical about it, but
Which
it was
chamber?
actually what
Which chamber?
Which chamber of your heart?
Oh,
the one that Luke's.
the
Hey,
one
it's a valve, okay?
the one that he's missing.
It's not missing.
You're missing about what?
His heart sucks.
What, your heart's like half there?
It's a condition. It's a medical condition. I put it on the do not mock list.
Luke has half a heart.
Anyways, so like I was gonna be very critical of it because
Right.
I'm like, I love this movie. I know everything about this movie, so I will know what they mess up. But it was actually pretty good. It lined up a lot with a lot of the lines that they had in the original. I did not like the fact that Scar did not have a song though.
Right.
Did you
What?
cry
They
at all?
didn't do the military march song
No,
with
he
him?
didn't sing at all.
That's stupid.
And he didn't even know the hyenas in the first place. So like,
What?
yeah,
Did you cry in the movie?
I did.
Ooh.
But I cried a
I
lot
would
of
have cried
things,
because
so-
there was no song from Scar.
Yeah.
There wasn't. He was just like, be prepared. And then like, that was it.
Oh, hell no.
And then roll credits.
That was it. Like, he just kind of said the word be prepared a couple times.
He
and
didn't
then-
even sing it like, be prepared.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He
Wow,
just
what a
sung it.
letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see
that was the thing that I didn't like about the movie. But that one overall was like a great one for me.
How about like
that's-
Aladdin though?
I was literally
See, that's
literally
why
just
this is why I would have said Aladdin was better than The Lion King. I didn't.
No, it was not.
I don't know.
Aladdin did not stick to anything that Aladdin was supposed to stick to.
What didn't it stick to?
So,
So you're a traditionalist.
yeah, like if you're gonna remake a movie, make it how it is.
Or you
Don't
just
try to
don't
change.
remake
Yeah, then
it.
or don't remake it. Like,
I think there's a lot of people who would disagree though. I think there's a lot of people like if you're gonna remake a movie, don't just do a shot for shot remake. Like make it its own movie.
but I didn't like what they did in Aladdin at
No?
all. At the end,
How was Will Smith?
Will
Smith was the only thing that was good about that.
Oh.
Look, he pulled off for what he was given. He did his due
He
diligence
did his
and tried
part.
and
Everyone
to do his part
else-
to do a genie justice.
And of course, that's why we're bringing him on the show.
He played the tiger, right?
Yep.
No, he played. Yep.
Because you ain't never had a friend like him.
No, he played. Yep.
He played the genie.
I know he played
okay.
the
No,
genie.
not the genie. He played the Gemini Man.
Gemini genie.
I
This
feel like
conversation
clone the
is
genie.
progressing too fast for me.
So, your overall take, Cheyenne, on Disney remakes, good or bad?
I
Idea.
think they can be good if they don't try to shoehorn in everything about society today.
That's a
Ooh.
good point. That's a good point.
I haven't even seen the movies, but I agree.
Yeah, like
Thank you,
they do
Cheyenne.
that
No,
with too
'cause
many
the
movies
ending-
now.
It became all about woman empowerment at the end.
What a bunch of crap.
And
This is a woman complaining about this, just saying.
no, like I'm all for that, but like if it wasn't like make your own original movie for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't make something.
Don't shove it down the throats of all the Disney fans.
Yeah.
Like on was it Endgame where all the girls together are like, we got this.
Yeah.
she
Well, I mean, like, that's not a big deal. They did that in Infinity War, too, and
I
nobody
know.
made a big deal about it.
No, it's not a big deal, but it's just like, oh yeah, look, all the women are going together. Wow.
It was
Look,
just funny that nobody cared until Endgame, but they did the exact same thing in
Well, because
Infinity War.
look, here's the thing. It's like I know they had that square off scene where you had like and talking about Infinity War because they had what Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlett Johansson, General Okoye. I forget her name, but it's the actress who plays Michonne, and again in Black Panther, the General. And who is the other one? I guess just like the villain chick or whatever that they were
Right.
fighting. It's like
Yeah.
the two or three of them taking her on, and Elizabeth Olsen's character comes up and just throws her right into like the blendy machine, and she gets all
To
alien.
me, that wasn't woman
But-
empowerment. That's just all the women fighting.
They were fighting, and here's what I don't get, and like to John's credit, which I don't understand with that scene in the movie, like oh, she's got help. She just flew through a freaking
She's Captain Marvel.
She flew through a freaking spaceship, destroyed it in 2 seconds. You really think she needs your help to get from point A to point B? Like that already was dumb. But then it's just like the other thing I did hate was when they go running into battle. General Okoye goes and just like spears that one dude who's part of like the Black Hand Order or whatever the heck it's called.
They make him die so easily.
Yeah, she just spears him right through the chest like in an instant.
It's like,
and
Are you
it's
talking
just
about
like
Ebony Maw or the big
Not-
buff
not-
Hulk-looking thing?
The one with the weird blue, blue and black face with the horns.
Yeah. 'cause,
Okay, yeah.
So like the brother of the one that we were just talking about in Infinity
Yeah.
War when they were fighting. So, but like that dude in Infinity War, he took on Vision and Captain America at the same time, and then out of nowhere, General Okoye just gets to spear him in 1 second. No, I don't buy that for anything.
In
like,
Endgame, they made it too easy to kill the Black Order people.
yeah, it's just
And
like
that's the problem with these Disney remakes.
they make it too easy
Yeah,
to kill
they
the
make
Black
it
Order.
too easy to kill the Black Order.
Oh, and then also in Aladdin, like Jafar was just like so bad. Jafar just, I don't know, he just didn't scream villain to me. He just screamed more of like a guy who thinks that he should be in power and is butthurt that anyone else thinks he should not be
Isn't
in power.
that what Aladdin was?
Yeah, that was the whole point. He wanted power. That's
Yeah,
what
but
kept-
he was cool at it.
But yeah, Jafar was sort of classy in a way. Like
See,
he was villainous
and
but classy.
He didn't even turn into a snake at the end.
That's the thing is like
What?
Yeah.
spoiler
Like-
alert.
Remakes are crap.
Sorry, exactly. Like
I haven't
it took
seen any of
every-
these because I can't like. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
want to.
look, I don't like
want to
it.
contribute money to these remakes. I hate them.
Yeah, no, I only went and saw Aladdin for the simple fact of like there was literally one day me and Sarah got out of work and we commute together and we were just like, okay, there's traffic on the freeway, there was an accident or something, like I want to kill time, I don't want to go, sit in that for 2 hours, like what do you want to do? Okay, Aladdin's in the theater, let's go see it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did enjoy it, whatever, but yeah, just like I think the big criticism I heard the most though about Jafar in that movie was a lot of people. No, not even like it wasn't even like a bad thing of like he didn't perform well or anything like that. People who saw the movie were like, he's too sexy. I can't hate him. Like, and this isn't me. Like, I didn't find the actor like all that attractive.
He was
but
not.
Other women who saw the movie were saying this, and like just my friends I was talking to about it, they're like,
that
the
tells
dude's
a lot
handsome.
about
Like,
society. Like people, like you could be a really crappy person, but if you're pretty, people are gonna like. That's like. Have you guys ever heard of like certain serial killers who would go to jail or whatever? Women
People
would
want-
write them letters and be like, "Oh, I want to be with you." and
I
all
want
this.
your baby.
Just because, yeah.
Yikes.
Like, what do you? Just because he's good looking, he's a murderer.
Yeah, that's the Oedipus complex.
It's so stupid.
is that the Oedipus complex?
Anyways.
No, I don't think it is.
I didn't know what you were talking about, so I just went along with it. But apparently,
it is
he
not.
doesn't
The
know what
Oedipus
he's talking
complex is
Anyways,
when you
back
are
to
like you have a thing for
Disney
your mom,
movies.
but
We're
what's
supposed to just leave it for the listeners to find out themselves.
I hope they
You know
don't
what?
find out what the Oedipus complex is by themselves.
about. Talking about Jafar again. You ever seen?
We're Jafar off topic.
There's
So
a
stupid.
Jafar
Alright.
meme. Will always be my favorite Disney meme. Okay. You know that song
Oh, and
from Titanic?
yeah.
It's like, near, far,
Wherever you
So there's one of Jafar, but it's a close up of his face. It's like Janir, and then it zooms out Jafar.
Oh my goodness.
I die every time I see it. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
Well, anyways, back to the Disney movie remakes. There is going to be Lady and the Tramp one, and I really hope. I've seen a commercial. It looks okay. I just really hope that it's going to be okay because it's not going to be released in theaters. It's going to be on that new Disney Plus, whatever
Yeah, their
thing,
streaming,
the
their
new
streaming
Netflix
service.
or whatever.
Yeah, I won't be seeing the movie. I just throwing that out there.
I'm just sick
Yeah.
of every entertainment industry repeating old
same thing?
stuff.
Yes.
Come up with something new. Even with music, all the rap music nowadays is them just putting an extra beat to a freaking 80s song. Like, come up with your own crap. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
It's not their style. They got to take that and they got to mumble over it.
It's infuriating. No, and it's the same with Disney, you know, taking old movies and remaking them. And even in those, I forget which one, someone took a
triggered
perfectly
John.
good Disney song and made it a rap song. Okay? Why would you do that? It's a perfectly good freaking Disney song.
I'm trying to think of which one this was.
I can't remember, but I'm ranting about it now. I will look it up, and next week on next week's podcast, I'll mention
Next
it real
week
quick.
on next week podcast.
Oh, by the way, speaking of next week, that will be our Halloween episode.
It will
Stick
be.
around. It's going to be spooky.
Spoopy.
I'm just sick of unoriginal ideas in entertainment.
No, and I'm right there with you. That's why it's something I definitely look to grade a movie on when we go to do our movie reviews and stuff, because it's like, I want originality. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing stuff that's like, oh, well, hey, we have this book, or we have this, or we have that, and just reboot it, remake it, whatever the heck you want to call it, but it's just like, do something original for once, please.
If it's a storybook and it hasn't been made into a movie yet, I'm all for it. Go for it. But if it's already been made a movie, stop it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to us?
But yeah, so, you know, speaking of movie reviews, I actually have one this week. Recently, what was released is Zombieland 2 Double Tap. Bam, bam. So, yes. Double Tap came out this Friday, and I went and saw it with Sarah. And so I would like to go through a quick review of that movie. Content warning, yes, there's gore. Yes, there's violence. And yes, there's a little bit of language. But I think you're safe on other things such as, you know, nudity or whatever else. Nothing like too over the top with that category.
Gore in a zombie movie? What?
I know, people dying. It's weird.
Wait,
But yeah,
Gorb is in there?
Gore, yes, he makes a cameo appearance.
Freaking Gorb, man. He keeps popping up.
He's more famous than we are apparently. If he's in the Zombieland movies. But yeah. So yes, I love this movie. Obviously maybe not necessarily too original, but I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, Zombieland 1 was still an original movie, original concept.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
sequels I
yeah.
don't count as like remakes. Sequels
Okay.
are fine.
All right,
Yeah,
I wasn't
it's
sure
a
where you
new-
fell on that one, but
No.
yeah, so still pretty good originality wise, and the plot was, again, it's nothing like super deep, but it was still fun and entertaining. Like, me and Sarah, we walked out of the movie thinking like, man, the movie went by pretty quick. We checked the runtime, it's like, it was well over an hour and a half long. Like, so it's like, it kept you entertained throughout
That's
the whole
good.
thing. Yeah, you didn't feel like there was any slow point
No
in the movie.
lulls.
Yeah, no like lulls, no just like, oh my gosh, this thing over, you're not checking your watch. Like, it was a good movie. Special effects were great. Music was on point for certain like little fight scenes, battle scenes, whatever else. The action comedy definitely delivered with this movie. And the wow factor, it maybe didn't necessarily have like a crazy wow factor, because you go into this movie and if you're expecting comedy and zombies, that's what you're gonna get. So it didn't really like go over the top with that, but it delivered enough. I'd give this movie a solid B+ A- ranking for this weekend.
Hey.
So yeah,
Ooh.
definitely.
Yeah, I want to see that one for sure. I just haven't gotten a
Dude,
chance.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's still funny. Jesse Eisenberg. Who?
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. Yes, I was like, why am I forgetting her name? Like, she was one of the other ones. And then Little Rock. I forget the actress's name. But yeah, so yeah, they all did great. It was a pretty funny movie all around. So
I will say
go
one
check out
thing-
Zombieland 2.
One thing about Jesse Eisenberg, all I can hear is Blue from Rio.
Just picture a parrot in this
Yep.
this movie. You know what she's talking about, Luke?
You've never seen Rio?
That's a bird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. Well, all that being said, after our many lively debates here, oh, what? John's got his finger up in something.
Before we transition to sports, I want to say goodbye.
Oh, right. Yes. So John needs to leave, so we will.
I have to go back to work, but I will miss you guys.
Yes.
I hope to hear the phrase of the week. What is it, Luke?
Fish sack of almonds.
Sack of salmon.
There we go.
Sack of salmon.
And we took some video of this week's episode, so
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
did.
throw little clips and little snippets out there on social media.
Also,
so,
credit to
You've
John.
probably seen it by now, but yeah, if not, go check it out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
so yeah, keep an eye out for that, guys. So y'all have a wonderful week and take us into sports.
All right. Sports.
Sports.
Oh.
We're gonna try that again.
my God. Ready? Sports.
Sports.
All right, folks, your Major League Baseball World Series lineup is set. You are going to have
Lineup?
well, what else would you call it?
Matchup.
Matchup lineup. I don't care.
They have lineups in this matchup.
Hey guys, actually,
Lenny match.
I I'll be right back. Gotta use the bathroom.
She's taking a huge dump.
Just,
All right.
Just don't worry. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay.
Back
And
to us.
Cheyenne's gone to take a dump. All right. So, yes, you have the Houston Astros. I was at Astros. Anyway. Versus the Washington Nationals. And I think, if I heard correctly, the video when the Washington Nationals won their series against the... Who was it on that side of the National League? It was... who did they beat out?
The Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said since 1933 this team is going to a World Series. So it's... Like, I think you talked about on the previous podcast, Luke, this is going to be a huge milestone for this team if they can get a World Series win right now. And that being said, I think I am pulling for them to win because they have. I think they'd have the slight underdog story going in their favor.
I would say they were the wild card.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
the Astros have been on top the entire
go
time.
Nationals. I'm rooting for you.
I'm going for the Nationals too. I'm a little bit tired of the Astros, especially since I'm an Angels fan.
Yeah.
So like,
Don't want a divisional rival taking
having said that, the Astros kind of deserve the win.
right.
Everybody on their team is good. You can't name the best player on the Astros team.
Right.
Anybody you name, you can make an argument for somebody else. So I'm still rooting for the Nationals, though.
Yes.
Please. Other baseball news. I want to talk about this.
John Madden.
Freaking football people, man. We're talking about baseball. You're close, though. Joe Madden has signed with the Angels to be the manager. This is awesome.
Woo!
This is a World Series winning coach with the manager with the Cubs. He was with us as a coach on the Angels when they won the World Series in 2002.
Bring us back, please.
He's been in the organization for over 30 years, both as a player and as a coach, and we cannot be happier to have him back.
Yes.
Looking forward to these next World Series trophies to come.
I loved seeing the post all week saying, welcome home, Joe. I'm so stoked for this dude. I want the Angels. They need to get the credit they rightfully deserve. With all the hitters we have, the talent we have on our roster, we need to be able to start getting some stuff done. We need to win the division, and we need to go get that World Series title. Like, we deserve it. Like, I mean, not that other teams don't, but we deserve it.
Yes.
But yeah, so... quickly transitioning, because do you know when the first game of the World Series is set to begin? Is it Monday, or when do you know?
I don't know.
Don't know. Oh
No,
my goodness.
I should know.
I
but
know,
I don't
we're
know.
terrible at this.
I mean, we're not great at it.
No,
I wouldn't say we're terrible.
I bet the office ladies know though. They know everything.
Do they know?
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be embarrassing.
I know John Krasinski and Jenna Fisher were actually getting into it. Not like, mad, angry battle, but like when I think it was last season with hockey. I think it was the Penguins and the. No, was it the Penguins? No, it was. But it was two different teams that they were like opposing each other and like rooting for in the game. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, so I would assume that they could know sports. But moving on from one sport to another, in a major trade deal. The Rams have taken Jalen Ramsey from the Jacksonville Jaguars for, I think, several first-round picks and even and more on top of it. Like, they gave a lot of stuff.
How interesting is that? Mm-hmm. Like, the Rams were starting to look not so great, and then they signed Jalen Ramsey, and it's like, ooh, like, this could be interesting now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, top-tier cornerback. Again, he's going to lock down those defenders. And today they even got a huge win over the... Atlanta Falcons. Granted, the Falcons aren't doing too good anyway, but I mean, still,
right.
He's making an impact because, again, I think the total score ended 37-10, and I can only imagine that they put him on Julio Jones, and he was probably locking him down the entire game.
Yeah,
because Julio Jones is a quick wide receiver. He knows how to handle the ball, like even after a tackle. Like, the dude's a beast, and for you to lock him down, it's pretty solid statement as your talent as a cornerback.
Yeah, they have arguably now the two best defenders in the game with Jalen Ramsey at cornerback and Aaron Donald.
Oh yeah,
so
on the line.
Yeah, this could be a pretty awesome defense coming up.
Yeah, if they can start to get things turned around, they can. I still don't see them taking the division necessarily from the 49ers or the Seahawks perchance. But
aren't we glad we're not in that division? I mean, it doesn't matter for us, but
no, the Chargers.
That is a tough division right there.
Chargers just suck, man. I mean, yeah, I don't want to try to detract from how awesome the Rams are or anything by tainting their word time right now on our podcast for the stupid Chargers. But man, the Chargers just know how to lose in incredible fashion.
Yeah.
This is the second week now. This season, we're on the 1 yard line and we fumbled a frickin' ball. Thanks, Melvin Gordon. Hope you're going to get that $12 million contract by the end of the season. No. If anything, we should cut you because you're just disappointing us.
Speaking of that, we missed our chance. We should have traded him at the beginning of the season. His stock was really high. Mm-hmm. We could have gotten a lot for him.
Yeah.
After all of this, after his mediocrity and his fumbling,
we'll be lucky
his
to get a
stock
second
is going
round pick.
down. Yeah, it's like we're going to get nothing for him. There's no benefit in keeping him.
Nope.
So
Eckler fought hard for that position of running back, and Gordon's just kind of sneaking out on his name alone and last year's, quote unquote successes. And it's just like he doesn't deserve to get all the carries that he's been getting and costing us these games. But I did hear one fun thing is that at the next home Charger game, they're going to be handing out nooses in the stadium. So, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I think like you said, Luke, I think we'll just bring our own because we don't expect anything from this team anymore.
Yeah,
Gosh,
so Melvin Gordon...
The season's over. Whatever, just cash in your checks now.
Melvin Gordon, if you would have been willing to commit to us at the beginning of the season, we would have been more forgiving. But your lack of commitment to the team and then now your lack of results just proves that you weren't ready to begin with. So we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
We're ready for next season. Hopefully, we'll get a first pick out of this.
Oh yeah,
top 5.
The way we're going, we're getting top 10 easily. There's no way we're getting out of that because the Raiders will beat us. The Broncos already proven that they can beat us, and I guarantee you the Chiefs will beat us even without Patrick Mahomes if we happen to play them while he's still injured or something.
Oh, you know what? I guess the first pick will go to the Dolphins, but if we can be top 5,
we'll be a close second.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, Chargers. Blech. All right, but. In other news, okay, so I've been watching a lot of games this week, and I watched or maybe just over these last couple weeks, however long it's been. But there have been a lot of bad ref calls, man, that have been costing teams crucial points or just crucial drives. Like there was the game between the Lions and Packers that took place, I believe, at Lambeau Field. And within like the last few minutes, the Lions were actually in control of that game. They had gone down the field, scored, and had the lead and everything, and they were about to get the ball back on, I think, it was either like a 3rd and whatever long sack that it was because the defensive lineman came through, got to Aaron Rodgers. But then the refs throw a flag not once, but twice for illegal hands to the face that kept the drive alive. And when you look at the replay, it was so egregious that even the announcers calling that game in the broadcast booth were saying there is no penalty here. Like, and they're showing the replay. The guy has his hand on the dude's shoulder pad of the offensive lineman, again, trying to push him away to get to Aaron Rodgers. He never makes contact with the face mask. He doesn't put his fingers or anything through it. And it's just these clean plays where this guy's getting free to, again, sack the quarterback, what he's paid to do, and they're throwing flags, keeping the drive alive for the Green Bay Packers. And it's just like, I love Aaron Rodgers. I like the Green Bay Packers. I'm a huge football fan all around. If you have good talent and you have a good team, I got no reason to hate you. But when the refs are giving games away like this, and I think even today with the Colts and Texans game, another divisional rivalry, which is crucial because that affects your standings. Are you going to win the division and get possibly a first round bye? Or are you just going to be a wild card position? The Texans were robbed of a touchdown today against the Colts because the refs said that Deshaun Watson was sacked, but he never made contact with the ground and he threw a touchdown pass to one of his receivers. So it's just like I don't want to say that the refs can completely alter a game because again with time on the clock there is choices that could be made by the once the offense or whoever else gets the ball back maybe they make a mistake or two here and there and it still ends up costing them the game. But it's just like it does seem like more often than not 9 times out of 10 the refs are the ones costing teams games, at least sending it into overtime, maybe say with the Colts Texans game because they only lost by 1 touchdown, which like I said if it had gone back on the board it could have been a tie game. But with the Lions beating the Packers, that's a huge road victory for your team in the division if you get that win. And they should have had the lead and got the ball back and easily could have killed off a good portion of that clock before the Packers even got it back again. So and I think Clay Matthews this week, he sent out a tweet or whatever and said, it was calling the refs out saying like they need to start being held accountable. They need to start, facing fines the same way a player gets a fine for, helmet to helmet or whatever else. And kid you not, he got fined for that tweet.
I saw that. That's outrageous.
Yeah, $12,000 for that tweet when it's just like he's trying to call the officiating crew to be held to a higher standard, which is just like they do need to be because all the fans are seeing this stuff on replay on their TVs. Like I said, broadcast announcers are seeing it. Like, come on, guys. Like, this needs to be addressed. Like, I don't know if it's Commissioner Goodell or whoever else, Gene Santor, like when he's looking at replay reviews from like New York, stuff like this needs to be addressed and handled to where it's like the officiating crew needs to be held responsible and have something, maybe they need to start getting fined in their paycheck if it's going to be what costs them to actually start calling games accurately and efficiently as opposed to costing another team a win or a loss. Because it's just, it's devastating. It's like at a certain point, it's like I'm literally doing my job to the best of my abilities, and I'm still getting flagged when I'm not committing any penalties at all. It's like what else am I supposed to do as a player?
Now I am curious. I want to hear you out on this one. What do you think fines will do?
At the very least, it would cause them to think twice about a call they make, like, and really start, trying to nitpick like what is and is not a penalty. Because if they're throwing flags, players are getting fined because of certain penalties that they throw, or if they start to then make their case to the ref afterward, then like, oh, on sportsmanlike conduct, he was yelling at the ref, and it's just like, you flagged me for no good reason. Like, and I'm not saying, obviously the refs aren't going to be making as much money as the NFL players, so I wouldn't say fine them tens of thousands of dollars. But find them a decent enough amount to where it's like, or, if they're going to make really bad mistakes, where like, say you go back to the Saints-Rams game last season, an NFC championship playoff match, it's like for the refs to sit there, anyone watches that highlight video, pass interference, a flag is thrown, it's 1st and goal for the Saints, they should win that game. And it's just like, when you see stuff like that being so just out in the open, so blatant, and then the refs just like, nah, it's fine. It's like if someone else can go back and watch that tape and say, no, you guys blew a call. Like you are like, I don't know if suspended is the right word, but like don't have them on another officiating crew for like a week or two. And like, like, hey, if you're going to make bad calls, we're not going to keep you on our payroll, or we're at least going to, if it's not going to be that severe, then dock them in their pay in general. Like as if the players are being held responsible and accountable on that regard, the ref should have to pay, have some kind of punishment too. It's like if there needs to be something in place for them to be like, okay, well, if you're not doing your job efficiently, we can't have you around anymore, or you need to start doing better if you want to stay in this league.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of fines.
But what else are they going to do to punish them?
I'm okay with them firing people.
So just dropping them.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like if a receiver.
Well, that's okay. Maybe like I said, it's along the same lines as fines, because it's like you're not paying them because they're not officiating a game at that point.
I'm okay with being more willing to bring in new people and see if there's anybody who can make these calls. I'm not entirely convinced that there are people who can do it better. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if there is a way to solve this problem, and I'll talk more about that later. I think I've narrowed it down to a possible reason. But like if a receiver drops a pass, I don't think the right call is to fire him. To fine him. If
well, no, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah. Like if he keeps messing up, it's not, you don't fine him. You just take him off the starting lineup or drop him from the team.
Oh, okay.
And I think it should be the same with the refs. Fining them for making mistakes. Like I don't know if you're worried about getting fines, are your calls really going to be better? I don't know if that's the case. I think it's just a lack of talent in some cases. Mm-hmm. There are some refs who might be more talented than these guys, and I'm okay with them experimenting and bringing in new faces to see if we can get the best people on the field.
Well, I think they definitely have to, because again, when we're all seeing these these videos go to instant replay and whatnot, and again, you see players either getting pushed, shoved, hands held for like a pass interference call that should have been flagged, not getting flagged, and again, I think they have some ridiculous stat where it's just like I think less than half of the pass interference challenges, that was the new rule that went into effect this season after the Rams Saints game. Like they've tried to challenge so many of these, and they're still not getting overturned because it has to be like super clear, evident, whatever freaking technicality, words and verbiage they want to use to try to make it seem okay if they don't overturn the call. It's just like, it's so ridiculous, man, because I'm watching highlights of, players try to jump up for the ball, and before the ball gets there, you see the defender holding a guy's arm down by his side, but they don't call that blatant pass interference.
And that's the reason, this is what I wanted to talk about. I'm not entirely sure that there's a way to fix this. I think the NFL has created this problem more than the refs have. And the way they do that is by having new rules added every single season. Mm-hmm. It's so complicated now that like a catch, everybody knows what a catch is, but the NFL has decided to define it to a point where there's so many technicalities on it that can make something that most people would call a catch in real life, but now you can't call it a catch anymore. And you got to give the refs a break, I think, at some point, because there's only so much that a human being can process, especially when it's all happening at such a fast pace like in football. Well, and that's why I'm okay with them experimenting to see if there are guys who can do it better. I'm just not entirely convinced they're going to find anybody who can do a better job. It's impossible with all of the rules that are being added every single season.
Well, like I said, but it may not necessarily be the word fine, but like I said, if you suspend them for a game or two and they don't get paid for those 2 or 3 games, however long they're suspended for making bad calls, that's going to start making them think twice and be like, okay, look, I really need to make sure I'm calling this game fair and efficiently, because it's just like when you watch these things in the highlight reel, it's just like people shouldn't be able to have 5-10 minute compilation videos of like, hey, watch my team get screwed out of a touchdown, or hey, watch this on YouTube, like, and it's you see these calls over and over and over and over again. It's just like, frick, I'd be pissed too. Like, and again, not to say that we haven't, as Charger fans, that we haven't had calls either go our way or calls go against us that could cost us games, but it's just like, my goodness, man, it's like there needs to just be a fair, balanced, playing field for everyone who sets foot on the gridiron. Like, it shouldn't be like, oh, the home team gets the advantage and the refs. Like, that shouldn't be the case. But
well, I mean, it has nothing to do with who's the home team.
No, but I'm just
saying.
The
Lions were the home team, right?
No, not in this game. It was at Lambeau.
But either way, you can find plenty of cases where the home team is getting screwed as well. And it doesn't matter where the field, what field they're on. The refs aren't doing it intentionally. They're just not doing a good job of it. And the reason I don't like fines or suspensions is because that's what you do to punish people. That's what you do when somebody makes a mistake. That's when they slip up and do something that they're not allowed to do. You fine players for speaking out in abusive ways. You fine them for breaking the league rules, but you don't fine them for poor performance. And what we have here is a problem of poor performance. And I think they should be treated like players. If you perform poorly, you might lose your spot. You might lose your job. You might not get as many games, playing time, we'll say, for the refs. Which is why I'm okay with experimenting with new guys, but to put a punishment on poor performance, I just don't think that's right. I think that goes beyond football. I don't want to get punished at my job for poor performance. I'm okay with the logic behind I might lose my job for poor performance, but to go into somebody's livelihood like that and start taking away from what they've rightfully earned, that just seems wrong to me on a level deeper than sports.
But they haven't. Look, it's the same thing. If you're at your job and you perform badly, if you get caught stealing or doing something that's really bad and egregious,
if you get caught breaking the rules, the refs aren't breaking the rules. They're just doing a poor job.
They're making mistakes that are costing teams wins and victory.
Mistakes, not intentionally breaking the rules. If you steal something from your job, that would be like a ref. When a coach
challenges a play and you look at the replay booth, you look at the freaking Jumbotron at your stadium and you see a blatant pass interference, or you see something else where it's like, clearly this guy isn't down. Clearly that guy made the catch. Clearly that was a fumble recovered by the defense. Clearly that was this. Clearly that was that. And they're saying, nope, we're just going to say no anyway.
That's the problem with the rules. That's not on the refs.
That is on the refs. When you see clear evidence going in the other way of the, when you see clear evidence going in the way of the coach who threw the challenge flag, and they're just like, no, we're going to ignore that.
It's all based on the rules. They're not ignoring anything. They're doing everything by the book, and the problem is the book. They keep adding pages to this book that doesn't need to happen. Like you said, it's obvious that there was pass interference there. The problem is they've written so many rules that you can't do it because of some technicality that makes it
excusable. When it comes down to a challenge, you're only looking at one rule. You don't have to look at the entire rule book. You just look at the one rule, the one play that's at hand there.
It's not one rule. That's where you're wrong. It's many, many, many rules that they have to consider. And the problem is, if one of them doesn't line up, all of a sudden their hands are tied and they can't do anything about it.
If I'm challenging the ruling of a completed catch or a fumble, that is only that rule that I'm looking at right now.
Do you know how many rules are into
hands
a
to the face?
catch?
I'm not looking at holding by the offensive line. I'm looking at the one play in front of me. That's all they have to look at in that one moment.
Do you know how many rules there are about a completed catch? There are so many regulations and stipulations on what makes a catch completed. And to take all of that into consideration, if one thing doesn't line up, all of a sudden you have to say, well, technically, according to the rules, that's not a catch. And that's the problem. Honestly, I think the problem is with the rules. The NFL just keeps shooting itself in the foot by adding 10, 15 new rules every single season. And it's just impossible to play the game now.
No, I'm saying the problem still lies with the refs. It's like whether the rule book's set or not, if something has to be added in one season or another, something gets removed, whatever, they're not doing their due diligence on and off the field to make sure that they're making the right calls. They should be able to look at these highlights at the end of the season and say, this ref was on this game and he was on this one and this one and this one. He blew 2, 3, 4, 5 total calls. Like, he shouldn't be back next season.
I'm okay with that. I'll meet you halfway and say, if they're doing a bad job, go ahead and get rid of them, try someone new. But I think there's something fundamentally wrong with taking away somebody's hard-earned money for poor performance. I think don't go halfway with it. Go all the way and say, okay, you're not making the cut. We're moving on.
Yeah, well, either way, we'll agree to disagree with whatever the reason is. I think it's something that needs to be addressed and looked at and, figured out because it's
We're
definitely...
in agreement there.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is affecting games, affecting players. It needs to be looked at in the entire league overall. But speaking of the league and our heated debate, sadly, we're not going to have John here for these Week 8 predictions.
Darn it.
I don't know. Maybe there'll be someone else who can fill in and maybe give some fun, creative dialogue for these. But for our Week 8 matchups that I've decided to highlight, we're going to celebrate the Bears going on to a bye week. Oh, no, sorry. They're playing the Chargers. So the Bears will have a bye week. It shouldn't be funny, but, it is. The Chargers can, just, I don't know. Maybe their plane doesn't make the landing. We'll see what happens. But
let's just give it to the Bears and move on.
Yep, Bears win. Eagles versus Bills. The Eagles are currently playing right now. I don't know what the score is of the Cowboys game, but the Bills, what kind of scared me today is they were actually trailing the Dolphins at home for a while. And granted, I know it's a divisional rivalry, so the team's going to fight tough regardless, because I know the Dolphins are still the only defeated team in the NFL. But still, for you to have such a hard problem, and I know their defense was able to handle, Tom Brady and the Patriots offense, well enough to where Tom Brady didn't perform that good, and it was still a close game. But, so currently right now, Dallas is beating Philly 14-0. So Eagles versus Bills. Where do you fall on that one?
I'm definitely in favor of the Bills.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to be a strong wild card team. They're not going to pass up the Patriots, I don't think.
Right.
But they're still 5-1 after a day, 6-1.
Yeah, I think 5-1 is right.
5-1. They had their bye week.
Yeah.
They're actually playing good football and they're looking solid on a weekly basis. And the Eagles are not.
No.
So I think the Bills are going to take this one.
Yeah. I could see that. So yeah, Eagles. Sorry, you might take the L that week, but I would definitely recommend. I don't know how they could do it, but the Bills need to find somebody on offense to fill in their quarterback position because I don't think any of the ones that they have starting or as backups are going to get the job done. Their offense is really lacking.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so at least it'll be at the home game for them. Next game we're looking at. Panthers versus 49ers. Panthers had a bye week this week, but the 49ers just they had a tough game against the Redskins. They only beat them. It was 9-0.
Yeah.
So 3 field goals total on the day.
Wow.
What do you think between the Panthers defense versus Jimmy Garoppolo? Who do you think's winning that matchup?
Still the 49ers.
You think the undefeated's going to go in there?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Because again, the Panthers are not that great.
Right.
Like the quarterback's doing okay, and Christian McCaffrey's doing great as well, but they're another team that's too inconsistent, and the 49ers are showing that with no losses, they are quite consistent.
You think the Panthers are inconsistent?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I know they had Cam at the beginning of the season. I think they've been on a winning streak since they started.
Have they really?
Rookie. Yeah, they were 0-2.
Maybe I'm thinking of this with a bias because I'm remembering Cam Newton in there.
Yeah, Cam Newton was the one who was losing games for him when he was starting quarterback.
Yeah, and I know that somebody's going to give the 49ers a loss. There's no way they're making it through this season completely undefeated. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's going to be the Panthers.
I don't know. I like... Because, again, I don't hate the 49ers. They'll still make a wild card easily, if not better. But, yeah, I don't know. I might be going with the Panthers on this one. Yeah, I think I just got to pick the Panthers. There's something good with that rookie QB they have. His name is escaping me.
I can't remember his name.
Is it Kyle Allen? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'll take the Panthers. Luke's picking the 49ers, which, again, no harm, no foul. not our team.
Yeah.
But, all right, the next game I have highlighted is an AFC matchup, Raiders versus Texans. Raiders just got smacked today, I think 42-24 by the Green Bay Packers. And the Texans, again, like I mentioned, took a hard loss. It was 30-23 against the Colts, but divisional rivalry,
both of them are good.
Yeah,
so.
they're both good teams. So no real shame in losing to the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah. I think the Texans with Deshaun Watson, he's definitely got the mobility at quarterback. Even despite him having a bad O-line, I think he can get the job done more so than Derek Carr can on offense.
Yeah.
So,
and he's a fighter. Deshaun Watson is a fighter. And he's got DeAndre Hopkins every single game. And that's just like, when you have a weapon that good, you're always going to be scary to somebody.
That dude is amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Texans. The Raiders have that rookie running back. Do you remember his name?
Is it Jacoby or something? Or
maybe. That guy's doing a pretty great job. Other than that, though, the Raiders are not someone I'm typically afraid of.
Right, but I mean, hey, they're doing a lot better than the Chargers are, so that's already one up on us.
That's easy to do.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs. Okay.
Yes,
Josh
Josh
I was
Jacobs.
close to Jacoby, but yeah. So Jacobs, he'd had 124 yards on the day, so averaging almost 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, so he's looking good. The rest of the Raiders team, sometimes they squeak by.
Yeah, Derek Carr got 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, decent for a QB. I mean, probably still better than Rivers. But we do still lean towards Texans winning that game. Good luck all around. And then the last game I want to highlight, Packers versus Chiefs.
Ooh.
I believe that one's in Arrowhead, but I don't...
What time is that game? Is that the night game?
I think that's a Sunday night game.
That deserves to be the Sunday night game.
I don't think Patrick Mahomes will be back for this one. I know he's supposed to be out for at least 3 weeks with his dislocated knee. And again, after the Packers tore up the Raiders defense, which I know it's not necessarily like top tier, but they have some pretty good pass rushers and stuff on their defensive line. I don't think the Chiefs will get the job done, especially since they didn't pick up Jalen Ramsey like everyone was speculating that they would with giving some first round trades. I definitely think the Chiefs might take another loss at Arrowhead.
I think so too. Aaron Rodgers looked amazing today.
Mm-hmm. And he set a record. He is the fastest quarterback or player to throw for 350 touchdowns. He's the quickest one to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Quickest in terms of games or age?
I'm guessing games.
That's what I'm thinking. Because he's not that young anymore. He's probably 35?
Yeah, maybe. So
somewhere around there. I'm going to go with the Packers on this, which is, oh man. You realize the implication there? That would mean 3 losses in a row.
At home?
For the Chiefs, right?
Well,
or did they win their last? They won their last one.
They won on Thursday. That was when they played the Broncos. They beat them 6-30. I think it was.
Yeah. Ooh.
So
I don't know. It depends a lot on Patrick Mahomes.
But again, he's not going to play though.
He's definitely not.
Yeah, he's out this week because he got the dislocated knee.
Sure.
So I'm
going to go with the Packers.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Herbert.
Is that Cheyenne?
What I missed, guys?
Oh,
everything really.
Most of it, but. We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just took a little bit.
Yeah,
John
you took a lot of it.
How big was that dump?
I would not like to talk about this situation right now.
All right, well, that's good because we're at the end of the episode, so I think you can squeak by. Now she's just destroying our set. All right, so before she breaks anything else, that's it for us here at the Somethings Podcast. Episode 13 comes to a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to hear from you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.